They do it. Hey. We did this already one time. Wow, I'm like, why am I having deja vu with this moment? Because we did this before.
Let's go. All right. It's another live watch along. Gotta get up. We got the New York Liberty at Indiana Fever, and I don't know about y'all, but I still got this little popcorn screen, so we got some time to talk about some things. Brian, I know you were in Washington, Misha. We know you like to make it about the Mystics, and I got to see Connecticut defense do what Connecticut defense does. So we're going to talk about that as we get ready for tonight's game. That and more coming up on today's live episode of Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans. Gotta get up, gotta get up. Hey, women's basketball fans, welcome to Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, brought to you by Black Rosie Media and hosted by Erica L. Ayala. All right, Misha, I see you getting down.
Wait, you can see me when I do that? Oh my gosh, I get down every time. Erica L. Ayala. Oh, that's right.
We got to update it for season 2. Get y'all on there. So we got to remix it a little bit. Damien. All right, Damien. Let's see how you feeling. Listen. All right. Now, Brian, I'm going to come to you first for this because I believe you were in the district.
Yes.
Or district adjacent. All right. So we know too long didn't read. The Liberty got that win. I don't know if it was always pretty, but they don't ask how, they ask, well, if you the Liberty, they definitely ask how, but that's another point for another day. What were some of your main takeaways from game number 1?
One thing I really liked was I thought Kennedy was terrific. She was in the first 5 to start the fourth quarter, and Sandy really highlighted her as being someone that helped turn the tide of the game. So I thought her play was really fantastic. It gives the Liberty a lot more options on the bench. Because I remember, I think, Erica, you were there during exits. Jonathan talked about like not being as big going into this year as last season, and they're not as tall, but they're a lot longer as compared to 2023. And I really thought you really saw that with the bench unit. Fibich is long, KB is long, Nyara is long. They're not as tall as last year, but there's a lot more athleticism, which I think is going to be a really huge benefit for them. I also think they started to clean things up as the game went on. They had about like 13 turnovers in the first half, only 4 in the fourth quarter, and they were all on offensive foul calls on screens. So it's something where JJ mentioned that you never know how a screen is going to be called game to game. So you just have to sort of do what you can in between to sort of navigate that. And I thought that was really good. I think also Bonana's just way more comfortable to start the year as it was last year. It took her about maybe 2-3 months to really get acclimated to everything last year as everyone sort of got used to each other. I thought Tuesday night she was on it immediately. Like every time like Sykes or the Mystics would go under on screens, she's pulling up with no hesitation, no second thought. And that really played a big role in opening things up for the team. So I thought that her aggressiveness on offense and just like her smarts on defense, she made the play of the game when Washington threw a lazy inbound pass, and then all of a sudden there's B creeping up, got the steal, 2 points, timeout Washington. And it's one of those things where for a team like Washington, like they played with such great energy. I want to give them props for that. Like the building was sold out. It was fun in there. It was loud. Like they were trying out some new chants in pregame. I was like, oh, after 2 free throws, it's whoosh. I was like, oh, that's fun. That's nice. So they definitely had a lot of great energy, and you sort of see the vision of what they want to do. And I think that it was a great testament to the togetherness of the Liberty group, that even on a night when Vander Sloot was struggling, Sab filled the box score, but it wasn't like a B or A game for her. And Stewie had trouble dealing with Shakira, who was in a new role this year. I think having Laney be that person that could just go to an offense over and over was a really valuable thing for them. And I think it gives them another button to press when they face the really elite teams and those other matchups, like if Stewart's playing against like a AT or a Wilson, where it's more even. You have that option in Laney. We could just sort of like give the ball to her and trust her to make something happen. And last one, so I can move on. JJ, fantastic. Sandy was talking about it in camp that she thinks she's better than ever. JJ's like, I had some good run in China where I got to work on some things, add to my game, and she came in ready to roll. Like, it's hard. Like, you don't see someone like knock down Stephanie Dawson too often, but there were a few times where JJ got her on the post. I was like, oh wow, she knocked down Big Mama. What do you know? So having JJ who can stretch the floor with 3 players, yeah, like being someone who can really do those things in the way that she does, I think really gives the team so much more comfort and things to go to. And when the Liberty started messing up, it was when they stopped getting the ball inside. Sandy was like, yo, we just started taking dumb 3-pointer, not our game. Our game is inside outside. So I think a game like that really reminds them that getting 2 feet in the paint is the big thing to do. And if you keep doing that, everything else is just going to open up naturally because JJ is so good on the inside. And now that she's back at 100%, you can really sort of press that button as much as humanly possible and really sort of like wear teams out that way.
Yeah, I like that you talk about getting in the paint inside outside, because I think that's going to be something that we see or that I'll be looking for when it comes to this Indiana Fever squad, because I think they struggled mightily to get Aaliyah Boston touches against Connecticut. But again, Connecticut has a fantastic defensive team. I mean, I think I posted this the other day, right? Death, taxes, Connecticut Sun keeping their opponents in the low 70s. I mean, that's just how they play. And you talk about at points where they got away from their game. And, you know, I love looking at the game flow visualization here. We're taking it back. Brian and I used to be on these game viz charts, but you can see exactly that. And then the Liberty had a late surge to get the win. All right, Mish, the resident Washington expert, what were your takeaways from this game?
So my biggest takeaway, Kira is back. Kira is back. Kira is back. Okay. I thought, you know, her first bucket of the season was an and one over Breanna Stewart. And that's not tea or shade. That's just like a testament to her fearlessness. She was fearless before she got hurt. And whenever a player gets injured, that's always my first, you know, thought is, are you going to come back and be tentative? Or are you going to come back and still be the same beast that you were when you know, before you got hurt? And by all, you know, accounts, it's looking like Kira is the latter. So that was a super bright spot to me. I thought Sykes and Atkins, I had question marks around them about how much they would improve in the offseason and what, you know, we would see from them early in the season as two people who are coming back to lead this team alongside Shakira. I thought it started with the defense, right? It started with the defense. Brittany Sykes did Brittany Sykes things, still in the basketball. Ariel Atkins getting hands in passing lanes. So I thought in terms of that, they look good. I am not mad at Ariel jacking that thing from 3 whatsoever, because folks who followed her game know, you know, she can kind of be streaky. She can go up and down. She talked, it might have been last season or the season before that, but about kind of getting that confidence back and not really thinking about it, just putting that thing up. And every time she put it up Tuesday night, it was beautiful. It was wonderful to watch. In terms of Brittany Sykes, Eric Tebow's been talking a lot about using her as a distributor, but not a point guard, which I think is a very important distinction to make because, you know, she's not a point guard. She's Brittany Sykes. She's a shooting guard. But she's had a couple pick and roll situations with Steph Dolson, driving the baseline, hitting that drift pass to a couple people, setting up, you know, pointing people in directions and you know, moving the chess pieces around the board. So I was really happy to see that. Okay. All right, Fever fans.
I mean, a house divided though, or a person.
I know, you what's going on over there, RC? That's a lot.
I mean, realness. We can hold space for multiple things. Yeah. I dig it. But yeah, Amish, I think you mentioned a lot of good stuff, and we see the pregame show on with the amazing LaChina Robinson and Renee Montgomery right now on Prime. I love that we see. It looks like Prime is upping the ante. Ion, I mean, I thought Ion, for coming on late in the game last year, they did a pretty good job with some of their storytelling. It was from some of the most comprehensive storytelling. So I think, they kind of had other people, being like, all right, I guess we got to step our game up. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes from a broadcast perspective, with Prime really stepping things up. But okay, let's go back to a few things that I think stood out in this game, or especially from the Liberty perspective, Brian, because you mentioned JJ, you mentioned Benijah, two players that we know have to step it up. But there were some other players that, we didn't really see much from them. And I wonder, what were some of the things, let's start with the starting five, Brian, that maybe surprised you, or what was Sandy kind of saying about the distribution of points and her starting five?
Well, one thing, I'll start with Sabrina and then work my way down the ladder. One thing I liked that she did was that she got downhill a little bit more than I'm used to. Like, she had a couple floaters, a couple and ones, and I'm like, that's where Jonathan Cope wanted her to sort of get better at, sort of getting more shots at the rim, using that strength in that way. So I thought that was a really good plus for her. And also, she got 2 blocks. I was like, oh, I looked at the box. I'm like, wait a minute. 2 blocks? When did that happen? But hey, it happened. So I like that for her. She wound up going 1 for 7 from 3. And I'm like, that's not going to happen again. So I think her continuing to sort of like space the floor that way is always going to be a positive, and really being able to at least give effort. Like, there were plays where Washington went at her on defense and it worked, but I think in a moment like that, you just got to keep the effort. And if someone gets by you, your bigs are waiting right there. So you as long as you maintain that effort and energy, everything else is going to be fine. For Brianna, I had an interesting thought, and I wonder if you guys are thinking what I'm thinking. Like, I was talking to somebody about it today, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the first season in a long time where she hasn't done international play. So I wonder if the first game was just almost like a, shaking off rust after a break kind of thing. Because, JJ mentioned she was overseas and she just came back. So she's in full flow after time off from the finals and really able to get back in. So I wonder if for Stewie, if it might take maybe like 2 or 3 games or so, just sort of like shake all the offseason rust off. Because I think this was her longest break since either COVID or the Achilles injury in 2019. So usually when season's over, she's back to work. And this is the first time in a while where she wasn't at work. In the wintertime, she was here in New York. So I wonder if opening night was a little bit of shaking off rust. And I think also, I didn't think that just sort of like switch to Washington for a quick second. I was amazed at how great Shakira looked in the 4. I was like, whoa. I was like, Mike Tebow, you had some things cooking when you put her at the 4 position. I was like, wow, she looked awesome. And I think that for Stewie, just a game like that, just sort of like shake the cobwebs loose, sort of like get things back in motion. That way, I think it's going to be a good thing. And I think what also is a positive, even though in her bad game, Erica, we talked about this all last year. Look at that minute total, only 31-32. And the Liberty were able to sort of like get on the run with her on the bench and then maintain it when she got back in. So if it's a situation where they can keep her under 35, we're really in the early 30s, because I looked it up in post game. She played 35 minutes and up for half the regular season games and all the playoffs. So that's a lot of miles. And if you're able to sort of cut down on that a great deal, and you have a player like KB who can fit in that role, 5 benches there, JJ is fully empowered, you really can manage those minutes in that way. So I think that's a great thing for the Liberty. And it's a great sign, even in her bad game, that they were so able to sort of like come away and make big plays down the stretch to win. And for Vander Sloot, I liked early that she was getting to the rim a lot. Like, I think sometimes we don't think of the Liberty as a team that gets to the rim and creates pressure that way. But I think the first 2 baskets of the game Sloot got were like layups that she got by driving to the basket. So if she's able to do that, like I think Vander Sloot is a player where we don't think of her as like being sort of like crafty and sort of like effective in that way. So she's able to get those drives. And
oh no, speak for yourself, brother. I like to call her crafty. I like to call her slippery. I think the vintage Courtney Vander Sloot, that's exactly her game. Now, I just had these up here. I do think we need to see her knock down her points more. Okay. So I'm gonna get this up here a little bit. 8 points was it for Vander Sloot? She had this is her assists, 5 assists. Actually, UNESCO had 8 assists. So yeah, 6 points for Vander Sloot. She can do better. Now it's not a deal breaker right now at this point in the season, but I do think we need that more. But to your point, I love what you mentioned, Brian, about Vander Sloot getting to the hole, about Sabrina Ionescu getting to the hole. We know we need that. And you talked about minutes. We talked about kind of, workload. I think it's great that JJ is feeling good, feeling comfortable. We've talked on this podcast a lot about how Johnquel Jones, for a good portion of the latter half of last year, was the go-to player, and the Liberty went as JJ went. So it's good to see her get involved early. And Misha, we have to think about if we then have the inverse problem where, to Brian's point, maybe Stewie coming in, not with an injury, but with a little bit of a different offseason workload. And so JJ feeling good now is going to take on that burden a little early on.
That's very interesting. I think though, to the point about Stewie, I 1,000% saw the same thing. It just felt like she was a step slower. And, when you're rehabbing an injury like Shakira's been rehabbing, you're doing, you know what I mean? You have to try to get out there and play game speed and play, you know what I mean? Like really put yourself in that mode to see if you can do it. And Stewie, I'm not mad at her getting rest. And I think even if it does take 2 or 3 games for her to get her feet under her, I think she'll be better for it still in the long run. I think, her durability will be better. And JJ, frankly, I don't see a problem with her getting, hers early and Stewie coming in and raising her level as the season progresses. And to your point about Sloot, with her, at this point in her career, I think vintage Sloot is exactly what we're looking for. But as a point guard who reads the floor so well and has so many weapons on this team, it's really, finding the spots where, like the first couple possessions in the Mystics game, where they're paying so much attention to JJ, they're paying so much attention to Sab, so much attention to Stewie, that she can find, you know what I mean? She can find those gaps. And I love the way they spread the floor out on Tuesday night. I'm looking for more of that tonight. And there you go. Stewie already cooking. I'm sure that was a point of emphasis for Sandy, is getting her going.
Yeah, I agree. Game is on, to your point. What are the expectations for the second game? I think you got to clean up things like turnovers. Almost saw one right there. Talked about that. Great play by Bona Laney Hamilton. But got to take care of the ball. As it looks like there's a turnover right there. I like that look though. Yeah. I like that look. Sloot cutting and Bona Laney trying to get that pass. But to Damien, to answer your question, what I'm looking for is them to clean up, because I think the New York Liberty can, play a pretty solid game against this Indiana team. I'm also looking for how they play defensively. I think, again, we saw the potential defensively on how to really wear down Caitlin Clark, and Connecticut showed us that. But this is not a New York Liberty team that I think has gotten exponentially better on defense, as Caitlin Clark gets her first home bucket and the crowd goes wild. And I guess that's the first bucket for Indiana, so they're going to sit down now. Well, a lot of squads do that. They stand up until their team gets the first bucket. So, I'm looking to see how they play Clark. I'm also looking at shot selection. I don't think either. I mean, it's super early, but shot selection hasn't been great.
Not great. That 5-shot possession by New York was kind of wild. Like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. So but that was a good look in the corner by Ionescu. I think I've been saying it. Is she going to get the keys to the car for the New York Liberty? I think she has potential. But also that depends on perhaps how Vander Sloot is feeling. She kind of reached in there. But see, that right there, that burns my grits. If everyone's looking at the ball and no one checks the players near them and bodies up. So, I'm telling you, man, Caitlin Clark, she's quick as opposed to unquick on that first step.
She is. And I think watching her first game, I think there was a possession where, was it AT guarding her? Yeah, it was AT guarding her. And so I just think with her, it's more strength than anything. Like, she's going to be able to make these moves. She just made a nice one on Benijah. But when you're playing one-on-one defense with her and you've got a little bit of body on her and she can't move, like, that's going to be tough. And that's going to be an adjustment she has to make. But I feel
like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Misha.
The physicality is something that every player that transitions into the W has to deal with, though, too. So it's just, for her, I hope, and I tweeted this the other day, I hope the message to her and the focus for her is more her assist to turnover ratio and less, we need you to score all these points. Like, no, baby girl, we just need you to take care of the basketball and the rest will figure itself out. Like,
Misha, I had a question.
Please.
So I saw, because I didn't get to sort of like watch the full game because I was on site on Tuesday, but I saw like some complaining about some, I think she got 2 foul calls on screens or something to that effect. I wonder if you think it's a situation where the whistle sort of threw her and Aaliyah off at the same time to start the game.
I think it's possible. I mean, like you said, you always have to, offensively and defensively, I think you have to see how referees are going to call screens. I mean, you have to shake stuff like that off. But again, it's the first game of the season. It's all this hype's on it. I know the ratings were crazy. Like, there's a lot of pressure there, whether they want to admit to it or not. So I think, there's definitely a little bit of rhythm that they were thrown out of in the first few minutes. But at some point, you got to adjust. I also think
that part.
The Fever returners came in and did a pretty good job of kind of settling things and getting back to what they want to do. Yeah,
so
they should get credit. Kelsey Mitchell still be jacking them things up, boy, but
I looked this up like this morning. I did not realize that Nalissa Smith took more shots than Boston last year. I was like, wait a minute, that don't sound right. I was like, hold up.
Oh, yeah, because I don't know how much Fever Twitter discourse you guys have seen, but the whole issue with them last year was Aaliyah would have great quarters and great little runs, and they would just go away from her altogether. And in those moments where they went away from her, Nalissa was getting a lot of the shots. Kelsey Mitchell was getting a lot of the shots. It was,
And that's the difference, though, right? I think Nalissa can create in a way that Boston, I don't know if it's that she can't, but she doesn't. But I want to get back to the Boston point in a minute. But I want to go back to Brian's question. Sabrina, Caitlin flat out said that she had to get used to the whistles. That's what she said post game, because I was in Connecticut, and that was definitely something that you could tell was frustrating her. But going back to Aaliyah Boston, I think that she's gonna have to come out a little bit more, and not necessarily she's gonna have to come off the block. Because that's a way that she's going to open up things for her teammates and for herself. I think that she maybe gets a little she falls in love. We heard the Liberty, I think last year, talk about falling in love with 3-pointers. You can also, or Caitlin actually said that in Albany, you can also fall in love with being on the block. And she's going to get pulled out defensively. She's going to get pulled from the paint. I mean, just look at, she's guarding JJ today. So she's got to be able to have that in her arsenal as well. And for me, Smith is a little bit more agile. I almost forget that she's one of their bigs, because of the way she moves. So I think that's something. The last few minutes here have been very choppy. Even happy with
but to your point, Erica, like, I wholeheartedly agree. I think Nalissa, even at Baylor, you know what I mean? That's her game. That's what she does. And if Aaliyah can pick anything up from her, I think she has the short corner, mid-range jumper, like stationary. But give me a little one dribble pull. Give me a little, you know what I mean? Start it from there and survey the floor. And, we know she's a great passer. A lot of the best bigs that have ever played the game, you give them the ball and an ISO on one side of the floor, they back you down and they see who their teammates are moving around them. I think Indiana has the personnel now. They got Carly Samuelson on the monitor right now. They can shoot. You know what I mean? Let Aaliyah Boston get double teamed. Let too much defense come to her, and you'll have options. But I wholeheartedly agree that block play really only works the way she's trying to get it to work when you're Tierra McCowan or you're, Kalani Brown or somebody who's a little bit taller, a little bit stockier at the position.
Yeah. So Misha, I just watched the foul that JJ was sort of fussing at the rep set. Like, JJ's my people, but she had Aaliyah in a full Nelson, and she's like, "What's the?" I'm like, "No, that's a foul." Like, that time they're right. Like, you can't have them in the full Nelson challenge and be like, "Don't call it fight."
That's fair.
That's still my people though. But that one, hey, that one they did a little bit. They got it right on that one. I got to give it to them.
Erica, we move it to the floor.
Oh yeah, I was like, because I'm like leaning, and I was like, no, it's not good for my back. I can't be doing all that.
I hear that.
I just, I can't, do all that. So we had to get a little more comfy. Use the back of my couch to get a little comfy.
I told you I'm gonna be following you in a second. I'm gonna be on the couch.
Here. Listen, we gotta get a little comfy. We got a long way to go.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go.
Indeed.
Probably do a little. What are we doing? Block party? Do a virtual background.
A virtual background?
Yeah. Some of these virtual backgrounds have me cracking up, bruh. Let me see what my options are on here. Virtual background. We could do this. We could do this. Oh, I got a piano now. Look at me. I'm fancy.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm fancy. I'm in Oklahoma. I got back to OK earlier today, this afternoon. Yeah, I was in New York for a bit. Ended up staying a little longer, an extra day. But yeah, I'm back home because I was just home.
One home, two home.
Well, like home is like I tell you what, I don't know if there's science behind this, but I literally feel like I breathe differently when I'm in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like
there's a clear reason for that, but I'm not gonna say it.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on here.
I'm just saying. Hey. Oklahoma is open spaces, and you know what I mean. So
no, I'm saying I breathe better in New York. I'm saying
I'm better in New York.
There it is.
See, you played yourself. See, you ain't know what I was saying. You ain't know what I was gonna say.
The few times I've been in New York, I love New York. So let's not get it twisted, people who are watching. I love some New York. However, there's been times I got back to my hotel room and I was just like, okay. But it depends on what you do, where you go, all that kind of stuff. But I hear that though. Being at home, of course you breathe better. That's your,
Yeah, that's my environment. Yeah. Just don't be leaning in the subway and you be all right,
Oh, I'm not touching. My mom always told me don't touch them handrails, don't touch the rail on the elevator, nowhere, never.
Yeah. That's hilarious. No, but it was good to be back. And then I got about a week until my sister's wedding, so I'll be back again.
Ooh.
Yeah, May is crazy. I got lots of stuff going on, but good stuff, all good stuff. So, but all right. What are we looking like? What's the vibe, folks? Let us know in the chat. How are you feeling? I believe they're expecting a pretty good crowd here, probably sold out. Who was it today who announced that they're moving some of their games to a bigger arena? I know the Sparks have announced that. Dallas is fitting to move. They're trying to move by next season. I don't know. I don't know. Is Nancy Lieberman still working with them? Because I don't know what Dallas did, but they decided to get serious about basketball operations this year. I mean, as Lizzo said, it's about damn time. Ooh, I like that look. I also like that Laney was like, it ain't there.
Yeah, I think, some of it's pressure, right? Some of it's like you got to keep up with the Joneses. And, you see the rest of the league doing what they're doing. You can't stay stagnant for too long, or you really going to start hurting the franchise and your actual record and, that kind of stuff.
That's it. That's exactly it.
All right, Sab.
Look at her. Like,
no game.
If I see her inside, I'm asking like, hey, Jonathan was like, we need you at the rim a little bit more. She's making it work so far.
Yeah, she's always had the floater in her bag too. I don't know why she doesn't use it more often. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. She's unquick on that first step. But unlike Caitlin Clark, I've been saying it. See, because people don't just here we go.
I'll look away for 1 second.
Here we go. I saw it happening. Here we go.
Like,
here we go.
People keep trying to
Here we go.
Replay me.
Here we go. Oh, Suki now. What? Oh, come on. Here we go.
Oh, she did.
Come on now, Aaliyah.
Uh-oh.
You ain't need all that.
Yep. I mean,
okay, just did kind of pin her though. All right.
I'm like, yeah, Aaliyah didn't do all that by herself though. But I think JJ is one of those players, man. Yep. You got to deal because she gets fired up off stuff like this. Like, so long as it doesn't start to be a detriment to the rest of the team and to her own play, I think you got to let her rock, man. You got to let her be.
All right. So Aaliyah's grabbing right now. And then JJ's like, oh, you want to do that?
No, they're both chicken winging each other. No, they're chicken winging each other.
Watch the replay again. Aaliyah grabbed first. Let's not do that. I didn't say both of them didn't do nothing, but there was contact going up. And then Boston links first. And then JJ was like, oh, you want to hold on? Then we're going to hold on. That's what I saw. That's how I saw it. Here we go.
I need to see
watch this.
Okay, yeah, I see the.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Yeah. And then JJ's like, all right, chicken wing going down. You went, no, I ain't letting you go.
Okay.
Guys, there's one thing I noticed as well. Once, as soon as JJ stepped forward, I saw that lean back.
I said nope. Nope.
Hey. I saw a lot of blink.
I saw that. Whoa. Was like, whoa. I didn't know you was gonna come see me. Like,
right, here's the thing. Do you think that they do anything? I don't think anything that we saw warrants them getting anything.
Yeah, I feel like just call a common foul. Just tell them.
Exactly. I don't know if they called a foul or not. Like if anything, it would be a foul on JJ.
Yeah,
I think. Aaliyah did go in with the elbow, but that's gonna happen. Here she goes, boom, in with the body. And then boom, goes up. That's a foul. And then here's the wraparound.
Yeah, hook. Ooh.
Here's the hook. And then there's the pin. I mean, honestly, I think you let that go. The only reason they might not is because they don't want this to escalate.
And see, I understand referees also have a job that a lot of casual fans might not understand. You have to, maintain the safety of the players on the court in regards to each other. And so on the one hand, I understand that, but they're not finna do nothing. They are not finna fight. Aaliyah Boston is not finna fight JJ. I promise you, she's not finna fight. That bitch is not finna fight her. I don't think it's that deep, but
JJ was looking at her like, come on now, little girl.
The WNBA that I aspire to see will make this a no call, but the WNBA that we know potentially might make this.
I'm gonna say I'm holding on to hope. I think it's a no call. I think you let that go. If anything, it's a common foul. It'd probably be a shooting foul for Boston. I mean, if you want to keep it funky, she did go into the body, so I mean, but I think that's a basketball play. But we'll see. All right, hold on. Let me turn up. Johnquel's like, no, we're not doing that. Yo, JJ at some point, see, here it goes. This makes sense to me. This makes sense. It looks like it's going to be a shooting foul for Boston. I think that's right. She did go into JJ, but JJ fouled her going up. So if they didn't catch all that, and I'm assuming they probably called that shooting foul.
Mm-hmm.
Anything extra, I think no, but they're gonna keep it real tight. I'll tell you what, Boston was also getting worked by Jones. Well, I'm sorry, Bree Jones. I was like, that's not helpful. By Bree Jones, and that was a good battle because they both were giving it. But the thing about Bree Jones is her demeanor. You could try, but you're not getting under her skin, or at least not noticeably. She might curse you out, in the huddle, but she's not changing what she's doing, and I love that because she's gonna give it to you, and you just got to take it because you're not getting under her skin. And I was like, oh, I love it.
It's such an insane combo to have, is that calm, you're not gonna rattle me demeanor, but the tenacity that she plays with at the same time. Her little sister actually was my AAU teammate back in the day, and same way, same dog, same like I'm gonna rip you to shreds. But as soon as that whistle blows, just
see ya.
Just kind, sweet as can be, sweet as pie. Yeah. It's crazy.
I love it.
Duality.
This is interesting. What do y'all think about this from Timothy? Angel Reese would fit better with Clark than Aaliyah Boston.
I mean, they already have Nalissa. You don't need somebody to go in there and do the same kind of, the same kind of thing. I don't see. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, Brian.
I guess I wonder too, right? Like Aaliyah, that she can at least get you like 16, 17 without like the attention that Clark gets based off last year. You give her like a Clark now, and everything goes. So that's like a good 18 points per game if Indiana hits all their buttons right. I don't think Angel can give you that. And I think also just from last night, she committed like a lot of like bad fouls, I thought, and a lot of like rookie fouls. Because boy, speaking of tough matchups, man, Dallas was like, I got all these good people. Welcome to the WNBA, my friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Look at Miara.
All right, sacrificing your body. See, that's a great sign. That's a great sign. In the mix. Great movie, by the way. Based in New York. Real ones know. Usher was an actor too. Don't forget it.
I remember him from, what is it? Can't Hardly Wait.
Ooh, okay. She's had some really strong sequences in preseason and the first couple of games. Temmie Fagbendler.
Another
game. Ooh. That's all she needs to do is use her strength to get a little bit of leverage, find that window, and put it off the lap.
Yeah, you're not bumping her off like Clark as one example. You're not bumping her off. Like if Sabrina gets past that unquick first step, it's good to go. That's why I was like, please don't try to go for the call. Just use your strength, and what happens. Go hard to the basket and let what's gonna happen.
Erica, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think Sabrina's ever been... Boy, they don't...
I'm sorry, Brian.
We getting whistle tones out here?
I mean, that was nasty. That was nasty. And then was like, where's my foul? Go ahead, Brian. What's your question?
Do you think Sabrina's ever gonna get to the point where she's a foul drawing magnet and she gets like 5-6 free throws a game? That was a good shot.
I mean, Splash Sister, right? That used to be a thing. Okay, do I think that she's gonna be able to draw fouls? Ooh.
Look.
Oh. Yo. Oh, they now. They playing now.
Brian, maybe it's only gonna take a game and a half for Stewie to get back in her back. Wow.
Oh, I thought it was me. I was like, yo, why did my screen just get darker? Like my TV screen. I was like, y'all gotta fix that filter. Come on now. Come on now. Fix that filter.
Hello? Oh, good finish. Foul. Good.
I'm liking the movement. I'm liking the cutting. I'm liking the spacing. I
like it in theory. It still looks a little choppy to me. It's not clean yet. But I think you're right. The decision making has gotten a lot better. They're getting into their flow. New York is. Okay, so back to your question. I think Sabrina, if she keeps doing I think we've all identified that there is a concerted effort to have her drive more.
Mm-hmm.
I think in theory she could be. And was it in the playoffs or in the regular season where, I mean, we've heard a few teams say this. I know NECA with LA of maybe a couple of years ago, but my point is that I vaguely remember New York talking about how they didn't get to the 3-point line, to the foul line a lot, and they thought that was a little bit, they didn't like how the game was called, and so sometimes you have to force the issue, and that's why you need guards to drive, because in theory, right? That they're going to create problems, especially if they can move with quickness. They should create problems for the post players trying to figure out, are they going to dish? Are they going to, girl?
You said, let me pay attention just in case.
No, because listen, I'd be like, ain't no way. And then that thing goes down and I'm like, damn, okay. Yeah. No, that was a little extreme, even for Caitlin Clark. Kind of had a quiet first quarter. All the Caitlin Clark watchers. But yeah, I think in theory she could be, Brian. I think that's a part of the reason why I want to see her drive more, is because you got to be able to have that in your bag when it comes to close games and when it comes to playoff basketball. You have to be able to get to the line and get the other team in foul trouble, because you're stopping the clock. You're giving yourself an opportunity that becomes clutch, getting folks in foul trouble.
Yeah, Caitlin's got 3 assists, but 3 turnovers right now, which is like case in point. What is your plus minus going to look like at the end of the game? What is the benefit going to be? Are you going to cancel yourself out, or are you going to, and this is not me piling on her. This is just me, pushing I want you to work on your assist to turnover agenda, because I really think, the scoring is going to come, man. The scoring is going to come. The league knows right now you got to force her right. Don't let her get to that left hand. Don't let her get to that step back. But, man, once she gets some more tools in that toolkit on the right side of the floor, hey, Damien. Erica, you're muted.
I mean, how many cards they got? The regular 52 card deck, or are we talking 3-4 extra packs?
Oh,
Jokers included, or what are we talking about? I mean, I don't know what you think, Misha. I don't know about that.
I mean, everything has to go right to me for them to make the playoffs, and that's just because of the rest of the field, frankly. I mean, it's not a knock on the talent that they have. I think they're going to be maybe not exponentially, but a lot better than they were last season.
They were in the 9 spot or 10 last year.
I don't remember.
It was either 9 or 10, I think, because they weren't 11 or 12.
Yeah, but they were close, and they could make it over the hump. It just kind of depends. Like, I've really got my eyes on Chicago right now. After last night in preseason, I've really got my eyes on the Sparks. I think, the Mercury, I still feel like that first game was, this is nice, but what's going to happen after that? But there's just a couple of teams that, if they play their cards right, could also end up in the playoffs. So it's a tough field this year, man. It's a tough field. It's going to be a gauntlet from start to finish.
Yeah, it's like the middle has gotten wider.
Yes.
And the top and bottom are very slim.
Yeah.
Who do we think is the bottom team coming in this year? Some people have said Chicago. I don't know about that.
It's not Chicago.
All right.
I would say who it is, but
okay, we already know. She's like, I I ain't saying nothing.
It might be us. It might be DC. I gotta see more. I liked what I saw on Tuesday, but I'm just not convinced it can be consistent because in the fourth quarter, the person who made that a game was Brittany Sykes. And I didn't see too much else from other folks. So I don't know. That's my pick right now. I sound like a hater on the team that I follow.
I mean,
the most,
I think it's real. I think a lot of people, you were asking, right, on social, like, what is the plan here?
Yeah.
What's for the rebuild, the retool? Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, that was almost really ugly. Girl.
They call
They better. That's not allowed. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That was a bear hug. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Wait. Wait. Let me see. Did they? Hold on.
I mean, that looked like a foul to me. Come on.
Her hand was on the ball, but like you.
Oh, they gave her a jump ball.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It looked like a foul to me.
Look at Sloot. Crafty.
Yeah. That's what she needs to do. Just find the spots, man. Just find the early offense if you have it. Find when the heads are turned, when they're paying attention to other people, do your thing. Go in. And Caitlin, man, she's just got to get into a rhythm.
Yeah. One thing that Sandy, I think, mentioned in pregame was that she was going to have KT on her. And as Skylar Diggins-Smith would tell you, KT's strong as hell, dog.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be the same situation it was with AT guarding her for Connecticut. It's like at some point, it's my younger, not siblings, goodness gracious, relatives and people that I've gone to play pickup with and stuff. You go out there, it's usually a bunch of grown men. If you put a 12-year-old up against a grown man, it don't matter how good your handles are. You know what I mean? The strength is gonna, at some point, you're gonna try to drive to the basket. It's gonna be like, hey, I don't want no parts.
You're gonna get your feelings hurt.
Don't get your feelings hurt. All right, you easy.
I thought it was interesting. A lot of people didn't think she was gonna make this roster with Clark coming in.
Really?
That's insane. That's nuts to me, actually.
I don't know a lot. I should say I heard that people were wondering.
Was it casuals?
No, not necessarily. I mean, the thought definitely crossed my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. But you know what? Then I saw that one preseason game and I was like, nope, I don't gotta worry about it. I'm good. Yeah. I just needed a quick refresher, a reminder.
Yeah. That's the rookie and the vet. I think that's a really good situation too, because Erica Wheeler, she's been through her own personal gauntlet getting to this stage.
Undrafted.
Yeah, completely undrafted. So I think, this is a great situation for Caitlin and for Erica Wheeler to be in. They both got to raise their game. But her not making this roster was never, to me, that was never a point of contention because she, I don't know. I just feel like she fits this team so well.
I like it.
I keep forgetting we're on camera. I'm doing all kind of crazy stuff with my face.
That's what makes it fun. All right. Y'all are watching along with us. Let us know what are some of your burning questions. Quick hands. The Liberty have some quick hands. Now Sloot. Now Sloot. Now Sloot. Wait a minute now.
Way up slowly.
How I knew that was not going in by just her second to last dribble. She lost her momentum. It was very strange.
All right, Christy.
Now, okay, this is a question I want to pose to y'all. Some people have been calling for Christy Sides to lose her job over how Caitlin Clark's performance was in game 1 of this season. Thoughts? Discuss. Ooh!
I know you know what we think about that. That is...
I mean, I want to speak for y'all, but I want to know.
I put that in the same boat as the Erica Wheeler thing. I'm like, what? What are we? That's like people calling for Sandy's job last season. What? No. The Indiana Fever had the most life that they've seen last season. Why would you want her to lose her job after one game? When really the only problem is CC just needs to settle in. Y'all be for real. Be so for real.
One game is wild.
No.
Brian, you want to tap in here?
Like, I feel like people are too quick to like want everything done immediately. Like, especially for that team, it's gonna take them time. Like, they're still like super young, and they're gonna need those reps together so they get good. Like, you can't just keep firing people all the time because you're never gonna get any continuity.
This isn't the NHL. This isn't the NHL.
Not at all. But yeah, this team,
I thought that was
wild. The Fever right now, not to make it about the Mystics, but the Fever right now remind me of the Mystics in not the seasons immediately before 2019, but the couple ones a little bit before that where they was trying to, move some pieces around and figure out what was going on. They knew who their star was going to be, but it was a question of who are we going to put around you? And, there were ups and downs. With every team that ends up getting a championship, it's a build. The Aces, you know what I mean? Formerly the Silver Stars. Like, it took time. It takes time to build things.
Also, like, apropos of absolutely nothing, but do we talk about this? I'm not feeling the Aces getting rid of the red. And especially, why would you change your colors to the losing team instead of the losing team trying to change the colors to the winning team? Also, I feel like this is a safe space, but Mark, in his bowl cut, if he says world champions one more time, I'm gonna lose it. You play in the women's national, the N in WNBA stands for national. You are not world champions. You are not world champions. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, wasn't there a whole Twitter beef between an Olympian and like the NBA essentially about that too?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, I was like, you're wrong, NBA and all your players. You are absolutely wrong. This is not. No.
It's a national basketball. Oh, well, there's a lot of some people's argument is that there's international players. Like, okay. No, that's not how it works. And then other people are arguing, oh, it's the best league in the world. Okay, but it's also, oh, look at this dude.
I will say
everywhere.
In a slight defense, if I was jacked, I'd have my arms out all the time. I'm sorry. Like I'm
I wasn't even mad at his arms. I mean, that, I guess if that's his thing, do you, boo? I'm just like the caucasity to be able to be wrong and loud and still have a nationally syndicated show. Mm-hmm. I mean, people be calling for my non-existent staff job if I get one little thing wrong.
I felt that one.
You listen and be like, fire her. Like, they didn't hire me to begin with.
But yeah, he was so loud and wrong on television, man. Like, wow, I was surprised, man. I didn't know, they had other players in the league that were really good.
Literally just do your job.
We've been telling you this for months. We've been telling you all this for months.
Bro, do your job. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? That's the most asinine thing.
It's so wild. You could be like, oh, damn, they can hoop here. Oh, I didn't know.
It's like, damn, a professional league that actually acts professional. They don't even travel. Like, what the fuck?
They don't even travel. That's pointed because we know who does all the traveling in the world.
Like taking the ball from the baseline and damn near at half court before they dribble the ball.
Like a running back.
Just like, what are you doing? Cradling the ball.
That's funny.
Ooh, oh.
When she gets good shots, I just needed to.
I mean, you gotta kiss the glass. I mean, it was pretty and all, but just kiss the damn glass.
Yeah, I was trying to make a highlight reel.
Girl.
What's the commentary sounding like?
I was literally just about to ask her. I was like, who are these people? I don't recognize these voices. The analyst voice sounds vaguely familiar. Who is you? Who is you? Hey, what up, Rafiq? Liberty coming in strong. I mean, they definitely look more coordinated. But yeah, I like Christy Sides. I don't know. Y'all be tripping.
Yeah, she's got that fire, man. She's one of them coaches that, you know, she give you a pep talk, she give you a motivational speech, and every time you talk to her, like one of those kinds. But you feel it
back. I love it. You love to see it.
Tully Bevilacqua, one of my favorite players who never gets talked about. She was so like, oh my god, I miss watching Tully play.
JJ's tired. She's grabbing people now for real. Oh, child.
Oh, that was an offensive foul. They got to call that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah.
She said, I liked it.
Yeah. That's one thing that always stresses me out. And I'm guilty of doing it in games, but like I hate when you're running in a straight line, you're sprinting down and people try to, get in your way or create a foul that way. It's it makes me cringe every time because it's just so dangerous, man. It's so dangerous.
Yeah, I feel you. There's some gamesmanship there, though.
Clear it out.
Oh, go to work.
You got Kelsey Mitchell guarding you, bro.
Hey.
Bruh.
That's got to be immediate. You got to send that cutter from the corner to the baseline and go to work. You shoot on the right side of the floor too, man. Come on, man.
I'm trying to see. So they got. Is that Antonelli or Mowens? That's who it sounds like, maybe. Well, Beth Mowens does play-by-play, but Antonelli. Well, does Antonelli also do play-by?
She usually does color commentary. I think that's
Debbie.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Maybe is it Debbie? Does the analyst, the commentator's voice sounds familiar. I don't know who.
I'm gonna turn it up. Hold on. Definitely Debbie.
Yep. I don't know who the gentleman is. She's in Carolina, right? Well, I don't know. I don't know where she be.
I think that's where she's based at. I don't know who dude is, but definitely Debbie.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
We got a movie. Who wants to know who fouls work? How fouls work? Who fouls work, Misha? Words. Come on.
Words. I'm sorry to be that newbie. I'm trying to get into basketball after seeing my first live game in the fall. Hey, we welcome you. This is a perfect time to talk about that. So we're gonna give the former college basketball player the floor here. I think I know how fouls work, but also I'm gonna let Mish take this one.
So yeah, with fouls you get 6 per game. If you get all 6 in the course of the game, you gotta sit your butt on the bench. I always mess up the bonus. I believe in the WNBA, you get 8 fouls per half, 2 free throws after those, or something like that. I don't know. This is a horrible showcasing of my WNBA knowledge, but you get 6, and if you get all 6.
All right, let's go with that. So there's a few different ways that you can pick up a foul, right, Mish? Mm-hmm. So a foul is basically, and hey, Greyhound 412, let us know what sport you watch and that you're most familiar with, because we can maybe try to translate, so to speak, in the language of sports that you're more familiar with. So in every sport, there are things that's, like I said earlier, you can't do that. Clap, 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 clap. Things that you're either impeding the other team. Well, it's almost always you're impeding the other team in some way. What's up? I did not realize that. Well, welcome. Okay, this is fantastic. So we're going to talk hockey. Perfect. Okay, so let's think about hockey. So you've got interference, you've got hooking, you've got cross-checking. So those are some of the fouls. So in hockey, right, Steph? In hockey, you'll get a foul for being effectively from impeding a player from making an offensive play. So that's the same in basketball. So if you think about interference, is probably the one that's most closely related to basketball. If someone's dribbling, and Misha kind of talked about this, but if someone's dribbling and you get into their body and you don't allow them to, within the space that they occupy, to, again, some of this is more talking about hockey for the basketball, for the hoopers, but effectively that's interference. That's a foul. You also, this is not necessarily the greatest hockey reference, but we saw with Aaliyah Boston, when she's going up to shoot, or if any shooter is going up to shoot, you can try to go arm to arm, but anytime you break the plane as a defender, if you break the plane, that is a foul. So if you reach over and you make contact with the shooter, that's considered a foul. That one is very tricky, especially if you're a taller player and you're guarding a shorter player. But technically, that's almost always how they call those fouls, right, Mish? Like, once you break the plane,
look, there's some, subjectivity to officiating, as we all know, in every sport. But yes, I think that's the spirit of the rule. I was about to say the spirit of the law. Oh my gosh, the spirit of the rule. My cousin just graduated from law school last weekend, so I got law in the brain. But yeah, that's the spirit of the rule. And then the other, I think, one of the most controversial foul calls is the charge. I was have offensive fouls. So it's not only defenders that can be called for fouls, but offensive players can be as well. And the most common kind of offensive foul or charge, is you see, I don't even know if the circle don't even matter this year, does it? I don't even think it does, right? Or was that the college season? No, that was the college season. They said that didn't matter anymore.
No, Go ahead.
But if you're an offensive player and you're driving to the basket or dribbling the basketball towards the basket trying to score, and a defensive player gets set in front of you in enough time and you just bowl them over, but their feet have to be set, they have to be vertical, they can't already be leaning backwards or forwards or side to side for that matter. But if all those, things check off, then the refs will call a charge and it'll be going to the defense. The ball will be going to the defense. So there's a lot of foul calls, a lot of different kinds of fouls.
And Steph, I know you're also familiar with soccer. So I guess what I was talking about breaking the plane is, in soccer, you have to make contact with the ball. You can't just go for someone's shins and be like, no, it's clean. That's not a clean tackle. So basketball has something like that as well. And see, right now, this did they call a foul? They probably did.
I think it's out of bounds.
Oh, was it out of bounds? Oh, okay. I thought she kind of went into Stewie, but so hopefully the basketball fouls are much more comprehensive, I would say, than hockey. And they are definitely subjective, especially because, hockey, you move a lot as well, but there's arguably a lot more body-to-body contact and face-up than you would see in hockey. At least that's kind
of dirt. Yeah, and that's what that's what Brian was alluding to. Not even necessarily, because that was a stationary pull-up jump shot you should have took. Stewie, she gonna protect the rim, baby girl. Come on now. Take the shot that you have. Don't try to force the issue, because nobody was there in the paint. Either Stewie was getting to it or JJ was getting to it. That was not going to end well either way.
Vice grip.
And then you see Steph on that. Stewie goes up and she goes and just blocks the ball. Now she actually, they could have, if you want to keep it funky, she gets mushed in the face. I know you're from New York, so you know what I mean. Why-oh, she gets mushed in the face. And that's why she tipped over like that. But that was a good block. But had she gone in and made contact with that shooting arm, then the foul would have been a defensive foul. She got mushed. She got mushed in the face. Yo, mushed is one of my favorite things to say. If you know, you know. There's technically two I guess definitions. Oop, that's a foul.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't like that. I do not like that. I understand why you do it. You trying to slow up the play. I understand tactically, but it is so dangerous to me, man. It is so dangerous.
Yep. I agree. I agree, but again, I think more often than not, that's a gamesmanship foul. You're looking at situational. So again, to use a soccer reference, this happened at I believe it was Megan Rapinoe's last regular season home game, because there was a breakaway opportunity for the opposing team, and then you saw a defender do what was definitely a tackle, like it was an unclean tackle. It was definitely going to be a foul, but you do it because if you don't take that foul, then that your keeper is going to have to make an out of this world save, because there's just no way. And in that situation, I mean, she probably could have let her go. I don't think it was going to be the end of the world, but I feel you, Mish. Like, that can be very, very dangerous, especially because you're usually colliding at an angle. Like we saw, we kind of spun out,
because you can't, as an offensive player, when you're coming to the basketball or you've got your head turned, man, you're blindsided. But yeah, to your point, New York's starting to really open up this lead. I see why Katie Lou. We got Carly. I see why Katie Lou would want to do that. Yes, absolutely. Interfering.
Yes, exactly. Interfering during a breakaway. Exactly. Like hooking or interference in hockey. Exactly.
I'm loving these references to soccer and hockey. All right, now she's multifaceted. Yeah.
So that's why I was like, let's do it this way. Because as we were talking, I was like, yo, I never realized that basketball fouls are kind of complicated.
They are.
I was like, dang, wait a minute. Where's the cheat sheet?
Y'all got me. I gotta go back to my basics. I used to get tested on basic basketball, statistics and rules when I was playing. I need to start giving myself more tests.
Not
right.
Brian. I have to play.
Okay, this is okay. Who wants to take this one? Brian, how about you? What's the little red countdown timer? I love that.
Yes. That's the shot clock. So each team has 24 seconds to get a shot up at the rim. It has to hit the rim, not even just shoot it. Look at the knife shot. So good. So yeah, each team has 24 seconds to get a shot that hits the rim. If you miss and you get the rebound, the clock, I think in the W, I think it's 14 seconds, right?
14. Yep.
Yeah. It circles back to 14, and then you have to do it again until you make a shot or someone turns the ball over. So, and right now, since it's if New York were to miss and Indiana were to get the ball here, the red clock would be off because the shot clock is going to be longer than the time left in the quarter. So it will turn off. Oh, no foul there. Okay, good rebound. Oh.
Man, that was a ticky-tack foul. Like she did one of those. She hit herself in the forehead. She knew.
Those young player trying to make the right play, and then I feel like it's going to be one of those things that Christie has sort of like Jones, where it's like keep your hands in your pockets on certain plays. Like don't reach.
When we get here, don't touch nothing. No,
nothing. But yes, unlike the pitch clock, subtle shade. Oh, that's right. We got a baseball as well. Not too many baseball, parallels, but I'll see if I can work one in. Yeah, exactly. It's to keep everything going, and you have to move with haste. You also have 10 seconds to get the ball from your side of the court past the half court line, which is another one. So you can't just be sitting back all the way on the other side. You have to advance. You have to advance toward your basket. So unlike hockey, where that doesn't exist, like you could in theory stay behind your net as much as you want, but in basketball you have to keep that thing moving.
And I don't know how deep we want to get into this, but that middle like rectangular area right where the basket is, you only got 3 seconds to be in there too if you're on offense. So like there's a lot of clocks you gotta have going. You
gotta be counting. You gotta keep it moving, always moving. All right. So this is interesting, and I think this will kind of take us into a halftime conversation. Also, I'll take a little break off camera to stretch our legs, rehydrate, refuel, all of that stuff. But before we do that, I think this is interesting what Timothy is saying right here. The Clark hype and bringing new fans to the WNBA will end quick if she can't get going. All right, so I wish I had the schedule in front of me, but who are the teams that play Indiana last? And if she goes ice cold, are they going to move their games back to a smaller arena?
Right. But I mean, so Timothy brings up a very interesting point because as soon as they release the national television schedule, it's like there's no reason 35 of these games need to be on television because you're setting Caitlin and her teammates up to fail. You're setting the league up to fail. You're setting casual fans who actually care about the game of basketball and want to learn more about the WNBA up to fail. It's
short-sighted.
Oh, it's so bad. So yeah, good point, Timothy. Good question.
Yeah, I guess I wonder at the same time, do you think we'll ever have a situation like, I hope it doesn't get like this, where rules sort of like loosen up to get more scoring? Because like the logic always holds that more scoring, more casual fans. I'm kind of hoping we don't get to that space because it's like, I feel like defenders have so many like moves and things taken away from them. If you lessen it even more, it's going to be impossible to play good defense and sort of be able to say without without having bad fouls called on you. So I think it's a situation where I don't want to have a situation where you try to overcorrect to sort of like generate more interest by having super high scoring games. Like the game is fine as it is. Like the sort of like external things can be better, of course, but as far as the on-court stuff, it's great. So I wouldn't even think about, I gotta like change this, I gotta modify that. You gotta leave it and you gotta let players like develop. Because I feel like this is where I think if you thought that she was gonna like walk in and give you 30, 10, and 7 every night was impossible. And it's like you weren't paying attention, buddy. Like that's really, you really putting a lot on that girl's shoulders, and you gotta give people like time to grow into a new job. And I think especially, I was thinking at like just sort of circle back to the national championship game. One thing I thought that was missing from her game was like that sort of short floater, because every time she tried to drive, South Carolina will be waiting for her at the basket, and then you try to you're trying to finish over, Cardosa and all the bigs that South Carolina has, and it's a lot harder. And with more time and more experience, you sort of like add more tools to your game. And I think a season like this is going to be a great learning experience because it's okay. What can I do to get better? I might need to get a little bit stronger because I have players like Thornton. I have players like Dejanay Carrington. I have Jackie Young, who I'm going to see eventually, who's just as quick and is super strong too. So what can I do? I can get better by being a little bit more stronger. I can sort of like add that in between game. So I think this season is, for all the sort of like hype and excitement, I think it's a season of sort of like learning for her in that, okay, what do I have to do? I was one of the all-time best players in college. How can I get to be one of the all-time best players in the pros when the game is more different? The competition is like elite every night. You're not really going to have any sort of like, I guess, lower tier teams, to not be disrespectful, but like, you know what I mean? Like, what can you do? And then now you have another team coming in. We have one new team coming in next year, whole new batch of players. The year after that, whole new batch of players. If rosters expand, whole another batch of players. How can I sort of like get a couple percent better this year, then just keep sort of building out? What do I need to do to sort of like find that place? And I think it's not a one-to-one comparison because injuries sort of like threw off her first 2 years, but I kind of think of it similar to Sabrina in that 2020, like she started getting it, but then she got hurt. 21 was an entire year of, okay, I'm playing hurt. I'm not telling anybody, but I'm hurt. I'm still trying to manage it. 22, I'm healthy. Here's what I can do to get better. 23, I'm fully healthy. Here's what I can do to get better. 24, I'm here. What can I do to get a little bit better? So I think you're gonna have that situation for her where we got to just sort of like add things every single year to really become that all WNBA player, all-star MVP kind of player. And then I think you have to give her grace because she's like 22. And when I was 22, you put me in front of 10 million people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit on a lot of things. And again, adding things to her game are going to make it so that whatever she considers likely her distance shooting to be her bread and butter, that's going to open up more as other things are added to the repertoire. So yeah, so we're gonna get into breaking this down a little bit more, but we see that the New York Liberty, leading the Indiana Fever. I think they're in a good spot. 48-31 is the score right now, and some things that they still need to clean up. But I'm pleasantly, I don't want to say pleasantly surprised. I'm pleased that some of the things that we saw, maybe them rushing a little bit, shot selection not being what it could be. I think they did even make those adjustments towards the end of the first quarter and going into the second. But we're going to step away for a little bit. So take your water break, bathroom break, get your snacks. And if you want to stick around, I'm going to play something from New York Liberty Media Day. You're going to hear Johnquel Jones talk a little bit about her process. This is me interviewing Johnquel Jones at Media Day, but we're going to step aside and we'll get back after it in about 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Here's JJ. Oh man. All right, JJ. I know about coming back to the Liberty. You were doing hockey things though at the moment. But how does it feel to be back in camp? What have you seen from some of the folks coming into training camp?
Yeah, it feels good to be back in camp. It feels good to be healthy. I think just everybody's intensity has been really good. We haven't had to really talk about energy, effort, which is amazing. And I think the team is really looking forward to getting the season started and being able to kind of pick up where we left off and then take it to the next level.
Coach talked a little bit about what her process was in the off season, especially the way that the season ended for the New York Liberty. Yeah. On the one hand, you're in the finals, that's great. Mm-hmm. But Sure. So what was that process like for you? I mean, I know in the Shattered Glass doc, you were also talking about that's a small window for you to kind of process because then you've got other things to do. But what can you tell us about what the off season was like in respect to how you were able to take in last season and then move forward into this year?
Yeah, I think, you go back and you watch the games. You see where you can be better as a team. You kind of see where you can be better as an individual. I think in the last game, when I go back and see it, I feel like we looked separated, but I don't think we were separated because there was separation. I think we were separated because everybody was individually trying to do the thing that they felt the team needed to be done. And instead of us just coming together as a team and saying, we got this, this is what we need as a collective. And we've had those conversations, we've talked about it. We understand that we are going to have to take our chemistry to another level to be successful. And yeah, we understand that our chemistry is going to be the biggest thing. But I think one of the main things we also talked about was just the fact that, like, us coming together and winning a championship in the first year would have been something that would be unheard of, and that it's difficult to be able to even get to the level of being able to play for a championship. And so while we didn't achieve what our goal was in year one, we still need to give ourselves a little bit of grace because we were able to achieve so much, right? And so as competitors and as athletes, a lot of times we have such high expectations of ourselves that sometimes we can't see when there's good progress being made or when you're making steps in the right direction. And I feel like I dealt with that personally last year, like healing up and starting to do good things on the court, but still not feeling like myself completely. And so there were times that I would get down on myself because I'm like, I just can't do the things that I want to do or the things that I was able to do in the past. And so it was tough, And so I think that translates to our team as well, but understanding that our foundation is really good. But now for us to be able to do what we want to do, now our chemistry has to be better. And I think some of the other things, like knowing where to be on offense and defense and different things like that just comes with time. And that's what we didn't have last year. So you should see a different New York Liberty team this year, and we're definitely holding ourselves to a higher standard.
I'll get you out of here with this, at least on my account. But I know that Sandy and Jonathan talked a lot to us in exit interviews about wanting to just retool
the next wave. And it seems like early in training camp this year that coach has tried at least trying a few new things, implementing a few new things. How does that fit into what you were just saying as far as just making the right adjustments and the appropriate adjustments within the context of this year?
Yeah, I think we have so many pieces and so many people that are mismatch problems that sometimes it's like, oh, well, who do we go to? You know, and I think just making sure that we're not just putting one thing on or putting everything on one person, and understanding that our team is stacked for a reason, and we're going to be a hard team to beat when we have that versatility and we have everybody being able to pitch in. Even just like me going downhill and playing off the ball, playing on the ball, like just kind of getting back into like MVP, JJ type movements and different things like that. And I think it's going to allow us to be that much better. And I think like last year, like Stewie was amazing. She was an MVP for a reason, but I think we put so much on her. And later on in the championship, you could see the level of fatigue. You could see that, you know, it was just a lot. And it's hard for one person to just kind of carry the whole team. So we want to make sure that we have that balance so that when anybody's number is called, that they're comfortable in those positions because we've done it enough times.
So that was Johnquel Jones. I think that she gave a lot of really good nuggets. And when we get back with Misha and Brian, we're still going to, you know, I have another halftime interview with Bona Laney Hamilton that I want to play for y'all. But, you know, so much of the conversation that people still want to have about this New York Liberty team is about their chemistry. I mean, this is a podcast for New York Liberty fans. I feel like people straight up dog if this is a team that, you know, quote unquote, loves each other and stuff like that. That is taking it to an extreme that I'm not really about. And what we heard from JJ is exactly what we've been talking about on this podcast, that it was a little bit too much hero basketball. It was not knowing who the one person was going to be to kind of take over the reins. And JJ fell into that role a lot. But, you know, if you watch the documentary Shattered Glass, during the finals, she is getting her foot examined and looked at just because, you know, they wanted to make sure that there weren't any lingering things. So a lot was put on JJ and she took it in stride. But I loved what she said, that she knows that chemistry is going to be key for this team moving forward. We are going to step aside once more. This is a shorter clip. So you got about another minute and almost 2 minutes. Let's just say 2 minutes. And we're going to play this clip from Bona Laney Hamilton. She is also going to address if she rewatched the finals. You heard JJ say she does. What did Bona Laney Hamilton do? And then she also talks about the other B, that being Beyonce, and maybe some wardrobe choices that she and Kayla Thornton have, as well as her favorite songs off Renaissance and Cowboy Carter. Here's Bona Laney Hamilton from 2024 New York Liberty Media Day.
I want to ask you, with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, can you talk about what you do off the court just to prepare and keep yourself intact mentally?
I have a therapist.
That's good.
I do therapy once a week, just because it is something that's very important. And I know there were a lot of, you know, stigmatisms and everything behind, you know, going to therapy or whatever in the past. But I think it's something that's very important because it just gives you the chance to kind of process everything, talk about whatever it is without any type of, you know, judgment or anything like that, but just really being able to, because sometimes, you know, just getting it off is enough as well, but then having that person to kind of like, you know, guide you and help you process those thoughts that you're having, and you know, it really helps to get it out. And so that's something that's very important to me, along with you know, prayer. You know, I am somebody who does devotional every morning, just taking that time to talk to God, because that's a part of it as well. So yeah, those are probably like the two most important things for me as it pertains to my mental health.
And did you get your chaps yet? Because I know you was talking about some chaps.
I didn't get my chaps yet, but not only myself, even though she wants to be portrayed as a hater, we went and got the same cowboy hat, and it's pink. KT has a cowboy hat, and it's pink.
Okay, wait a minute.
We both have one.
Oh.
I just posted something. I said we have to protect B at all costs from KT.
But she so you know in public she gonna hate. It's okay. She gonna hate. But we went and got a hat together.
Dope, I can't wait to see that. When is it gonna be coming through the tunnel?
We gonna see. I don't know. I might have to pull it together. I got this pink Beyonce fit, so we gonna see. I don't know when she gonna wear hers. She probably gonna wear it the same day.
But when it comes to this year's team,
okay, so I thought this was the clip. Also, like, LOL at me laughing in the microphone. Like, why do I do that? Why do I do that? Why am I so loud?
Because you're having fun, Erica.
Thank you. Thank you for validating me. That's why we rock with you. Like, that's why we rock with you. Okay, first of all, I really did, although I thought it was a different clip, I did really like her. And I love the question. A few of the players were asked about mental health awareness month in the month of May. And I just loved her her keeping it real, that she knows there's been a stigma around that, but that's something that she does. But I'll find the clip maybe for our next watch along, but Too Long Didn't Read, or if you don't join us, Bona Laney did not watch the finals. She's like, I don't know that I lived it. And I was like, that's interesting, because JJ had a different approach, but every player is a little bit different. But yeah, so if you like what you are seeing, that's an opportunity for you to continue to support Black Rosie Media. First thing is subscribe, comment, all of that helps with the YouTube algorithm. You can also set notifications as Katie Lou gets on the board. We are so close to 1,000 subs, which would get us to another level of monetization. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do that. Tell your friends, tell your mama and them, just go ahead and grab their laptop and subscribe them. They won't know.
You thought they logged in anyway. Just do that.
Like, yeah, exactly. Just go on and do all that. But yeah, that's some of the fun stuff that we are able to give you at Black Rosie Media. But we're gonna bring Brian back up in here.
I broke my chair, y'all.
No,
I broke my chair.
Dang.
This was
tough.
a new one too. One of the ergonomic joints.
Oh man.
Anyway, unimportant. Game happening again.
I love it. All right, Greyhound 412, aka Steph. I hope people tuning in understand there's a learning curve with any rookie entering into the next level of their sport. You would think. I mean, and you know what? It is that we get some rookies that tend to be the exception, and we think it's the rule, but it's not. And so, the learning curve, it depends sometimes. And Brian, I think it was you who was talking about Sabrina, also Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu had very similar challenges. And I know Plum especially has talked about how that affected her mental health, with injuries. And then you have all this hype coming in, and then you get injured and people forget about you. So that's kind of like what Timothy was saying. Like, we've already seen that happen in this league. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. But
and to that point, Erica, and to Timothy's point, because we have seen that before, it really, I was naive to hope for more from the W, but I didn't think they would double down. And, I understand, capitalizing off the momentum and the popularity of a player, but there's a line there. And I think we saw that same line with KP. We saw that same line with Sab. And, the injuries showed, okay, well, there are other people that we need to be focusing on. And I just still,
it's very short.
It's not new fans' fault. They were just misguided. They were misguided by the league itself, and by, all the signs and symbols that have been put to them saying Caitlin Clark is the savior of women's basketball. Women's basketball never needed saving.
Come on. That's why, all right, I'm going to keep it funky. Like, I wrote an article where I was like, listen, Dawn Staley might be the GOAT because of what she does for everybody else in all aspects. Katie Lou got knocked, maybe knee to knee. But when Dawn Staley said she had that quote that, Caitlin Clark single-handedly, I was like, Dawn, baby. I mean, because Dawn's always going to give everyone their flowers, and that's why we love Dawn Staley. But I was like, people are going to run away with that single-handedly quote. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay, Erica, do you still think Sabrina should be given the keys to the New York Liberty? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, and the expansion could play into this. I know a lot of people speculating that Sabrina Ionescu could go to Golden State, but she was just extended. Now, the way expansions work is, that doesn't necessarily matter. I actually haven't. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever covered an expansion and selection in the WNBA.
I definitely haven't.
So, because who was the last expansion team?
Oh, that's a travel, baby.
That had to be.
That looked like a.
Oh no, Melissa! Don't look.
Oh,
look,
child, that was ugly. That was ugly. Baseline to baseline. That was hideous.
Also, can we talk about? I hate this Cheez-It brand in the middle of the freaking pan. That's so.
Really? All right. Can I? Is this where I admit that I like to nosh on Cheez-Its? Because they're good.
Oh, I love Cheez-Its. I was like,
okay. I'm not alone.
I was like, yo, Cheez-Its would have been clutch right now. But now she's just falling all over the place. She's falling all over the place.
Damn. I really hate Cheez-Its and Chex Mix. I don't get it.
Chex Mix, I don't work with.
I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to defend Chex Mix, but
yeah. Cheez-Its, every experience I've had with Cheez-Its has been somebody else eating them, and then their breath has been rank right in my face. And maybe that's why I don't like Cheez-Its. Maybe that's why. But
I feel like that's a personal gripe.
I'll take a Tito if I want a cheese flavored snack.
Not a Tito, like get the witch hands on them.
Chester Cheetah propaganda was big in my childhood.
You said Cheeto. I was thinking Bugles, right? Those are the ones.
I don't like them either.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are weird.
No, I'm talking Chester the Cheetah Cheetos. I said
okay. Now the
was big in my childhood.
The original puffy ones or like the little shriveled looking ones? Okay.
No, not the those ones freak me out a little bit. And they're a little too hard for my teeth. So
yeah, they don't taste the same. I need those air pockets,
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do think Sab should still be given the keys because we're not gonna see Courtney Vander Sloot on the New York Liberty and or in the league forever. You have to have a solid point guard in the league. The way the league is, you have to have a good point guard, and those are hard to come by. I think also, if history tells us anything. That being said, I honestly don't think Sabrina is a point guard.
The defensive breakdown. How is JJ just floating?
Just out there all willy-nilly. Just doing our thing. Doing our own thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can't do that. That is a foul. She made contact with the body, not the ball.
I feel like JJ's also annoyed that she blew that bunny. I feel I feel like JJ's like, I should have made that. But great process.
I would agree.
Erica, one thing I'm wondering, I wonder if you think the same thing, if you're along the same path I am. Like a problem that I thought the Liberty kind of had last year is that they would get up by a bunch and then they sort of trick off leads and then they have to go to the Stewie Save Us routine. Yep. I wonder for the group this year if they can, now they're up 19. Can they get it to 25 and can they keep it down?
Yep.
Because I feel like that among just beyond just saying just like keeping people on the bench longer, like if you're up by like 25, you don't need to play someone like 36 minutes or anything like that because the game is already in full control.
Bounce pass.
Ball movement.
I love the ball movement, but like, why are we afraid of a bounce pass?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Brian. Because it's the extreme opposite of what happened with the Aces last year, right? I think Becky Hammond said it when she was talking about A'ja Wilson not winning MVP because her coach didn't play her or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's because y'all was beating the brakes off of people. She didn't need to be in that game, and she shouldn't have been in that game. And that could be a great way to load manage this season. Is just spank people and take care of your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But I think your point also about the Liberty being able to close out games is a valid one. I mean, what were those two like night and day? Stewie cracks me up sometimes. She's just so nonchalant. She like,
She just runs like this, which gets me because the hands are always flopping.
Blah blah. Yeah, she like a little rag doll out there. Oh man. She's got like a swimmer's body. You know how swimmers are like super lumpy, but also like floppy at the same time. Like she's like a swimmer out of water, which is like mildly awkward, but I mean it works. So I'm gonna let her rock.
Yeah, Indiana is getting destroyed, Damien. We are seeing what separates the teams that could make the playoffs from the teams that, what I mean, need to make the playoffs, and if they don't, what happened kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yep. I would agree with that. I think just to close the loop on that point, what was it early in the season? I think it was a back-to-back with Chicago, right?
That's the one. Yep, you're right.
Mm-hmm. I remember because we talked about that a lot. I kept going back. I was like, you can't pull a Chicago. Don't pull a dang Chicago. That was nasty. That was nasty. And that's when Sandy was she's like, we're not looking at all that super now. I was like, yo. Woo! We're not looking at all that super right now. Yeah. So to the point about kind of, managing minutes, yes, that will help if they can close out games, but also just close out games. Like close out games because that's what you need to do to win and be successful. What is this movie? Next in Hall? Like what was that crocodile, that Navajo tear that's just right down his cheek? I was like, this is drama.
Speaking of prime movies, I watched The Idea of You last weekend.
I did too.
Good. I liked it a
So
lot.
good. I like
that.
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway and the guy who is in the movie with that other woman, Purple Hearts, the Netflix movie, where they get married so she can have health insurance. Sophie, she was in The Descendants. She's a Disney child grown. What is her name? Sophie. Somebody in this chat knows what I'm talking about. Don't leave me out here.
Help us, because I sure didn't get none of them hits. I ain't seen The Descendants. I ain't seen Purple Hearts.
Yo, The Descendants, like low key, I'm definitely older than their demographic, but that joint, I'll be in here like singing all the songs. We know all the ways to be WICKED.
All right now. Let's go. Okay.
Oh my gosh. My song is the Uma song. What's my name? What's my name? Uma. Say it louder. I was like, yeah. Thank you. I knew somebody knew what I was like, yo, what is this child's name? Sophia Carson. She played the child of who's the villain in Sleeping Beauty?
I haven't watched
We jumping around. I don't know enough. Maybe I need to go watch some stuff.
Come on. The WNBA is gonna be on Disney Plus. I'm gonna need y'all to. Did y'all see? Y'all see that thing about WNBA games? It is Maleficent. See, I think it is Maleficent. I know some of y'all be knowing what I'm talking about. Not my co-host here.
I didn't forget the original question.
The idea of you, Prime Videos, the idea, or Prime Movies, the idea of you. I thought it was cute.
Let me just.
Misha, I have a question.
Yes.
Like
is my brain cooked when Erica said Sophie? I immediately went to Cunningham. I feel like my brain is fried.
Oh my gosh! I was like Sophie.
Yeah. Something's rotten in there, Brian. Something's rotten in there.
Yep.
I went to Vergara.
Wicked. Speaking of Sophie Cunningham and the Descendants, I'm telling you, some of them songs are bangers. Y'all gotta check them out.
I feel you.
So many ways to be wicked. I was like, ew.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? Dove Cameron. So it's Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson. Oh, one of the original cast members, he died. Oh, it was very sad.
I wasn't gonna say it because that's really the only thing that I remember about the Descendants is the kid who was just.
Oh no, he had some condition, and I think I don't remember all the details, but it was very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? That is fire. Descendants, I will watch. I watched the animated one. I watch all of it. I don't care. When they do the carpool karaoke, that's one of my favorites. I'm like, how many takes of this did they do? Because they have each one of them in the driver's seat. I'm like, y'all did this at least 5 times. Or who's the he is he's native. He has beautiful hair, and he plays the son of Jafar. Is it Jafar? I think so. Oh, look at I knew I saw you recognize them haircuts from anywhere. Come on now. I was like, wait, is that the Iowa coaching staff?
I recognize that hair. Yeah.
I'm like, come on. There's
That's
just
funny.
some things. Just some things. It's undeniable.
Hey, they be rocking it too. I can't even hold you. I don't know a lot of people that can do it like they do it.
I mean, they were like, we found our style 30 years ago. We keep it.
If it ain't broke,
Listen, it's the swoop bang for me.
speaking of which, I'm excited for Jan. Go ahead, Miss Jensen.
Chill.
But are we wrong though? Because
I mean, who the holding spray like alone? I mean, come on. I'm gonna need them to get an endorsement off of that. See, that's what we don't want to see, Sabrina. Don't be doing none of that.
smart by Stu.
Another turnover.
Ciao. Nyara getting some time.
Why
Why
is
did she have
she
to
behind
finish?
y'all? Because what?
Oh, Leo, what kind of pass was that?
Dang, wait, let me refresh.
Refresh. LOL show.
Never.
Oh my gosh, Lisa and Jan. Oh man, that was wild. Like she was just like, yeah, I'm done. Retired.
Oh.
Yeah, Ryan's ahead of me too.
What just happened, Brian?
Yeah, sit down. Basically. Would you like to elaborate? I mean, that's what happened, but you can elaborate.
Yeah, like she got the angle on Fibich, and then Niara went for the contest, and then she took a little bump. Just got to get up.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I didn't even catch it. That's smooth. That's smooth.
You did there. Smooth with a V.
Wow. Oop, okay, Tammy.
Oh, look at that. Oh, no.
Oh. Now I'm behind. That was smart by Stewie. She went into the body. I love when offensive players in any sport do that. They see, especially the trailing defender, and then they go right into them. And if they abruptly stop, it's my favorite thing in the world because, like, it's just smart. That's a quick way to pick up a foul.
Oh, Leo.
Yeah, this game has gotten choppy again.
Yes.
We're also seeing the second unit, at least for the New York Liberty, but I don't hate it. It's game 2.
Yeah.
And, we know that Sandy talked about getting her starting 5 in a good place, but also knowing that she's got to get the bench going. And so I see that she's committed to that early on. Like it looks a little clunky, but this is the time to do it. Get the rest for the starters, like we talked about.
Well, yeah, 15
stuff.
is enough. Now they just gotta keep it to like 19 or 20 to close a quarter, then they'll be in great shape.
Yeah, Indiana. I'm getting Grace Berger's in. Good. I love her energy. Yeah. I'm getting mismatched energy from certain players. Like right now for me, Cece and Alyssa are low energy. Temi, Grace, and whoever else is on the court. I can't remember because they just went to a replay. But it's feeling like it's just not everybody's not at the same level right now energetically, and that's gonna be a problem. I understand you're down, you know what I mean? I understand that. But it's the beginning of the season. You gotta show people something.
Exactly. Yeah. They call that a shooting foul? That's very interesting. Or are they over? Oh yeah, they're over. I was like, what? I was like, now
college whistles.
I was like, just because she can shoot it from there, don't mean that she was going to. I was like, what's going on? But that's to Steph's question. That's what Misha, you were talking about. In a certain period of time, or at a certain point in the game, to get into a bonus. It's like you foul too much. Now every time you foul, the other team's gonna get free throws.
And it is 8, right? I was right. It's 8, not 7.
Honestly, I don't know.
I believe it's 8.
I rely on other people to count that for me. Be like, all right, they said we're in the bonus, so I guess Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a solid question. There's a few different things. Ooh. Nice move. Nice move, Grace. I like Grace. She don't get enough credit. She doesn't get enough credit for what she out here doing. Okay, so there's a few ways to answer this. One is if you are in the process of shooting the ball and you are fouled and the ball does not go in the basket, that if you were shooting a field goal, basically anything inside the 3-point arc, you get 2 shots. 2 shots? If you were shooting at the perimeter on the 3-point line, then you get 3 shots. If you were shooting a field goal and you make the basket goes in, and you were fouled, that's what they call a and 1. So you get an additional 1 shot. Is that everything? Oh, and then also you can shoot free throws on technical fouls.
Did you say flagrants already too?
I didn't mention flagrants. Yeah.
That's a whole other.
Right. Technicals and flagrants. So very egregious fouls, like if we're talking hockey, you know how there's a major penalty? Well, there are different degrees of major penalties in basketball. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2, technical foul, things of that nature. And yeah, that's how you can, yes, exactly, a major. So think of a flagrant, and there's, 1 and 2, right? Flagrant 1, flagrant 2. Those are major penalties, and they give an extra award to the team that was wronged. Because they are so flagrant. Egregious. Okay, first of all, I don't know why I said first of all, but they got the Skims commercial on. Yo, that Kelsey Plum outfit.
Yo, living on the edge. I said, baby girl, that tape must be the strongest tape the world has ever seen. You could
First of all, that was leather. That was leather. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what was happening there, but you see that on the orange carpet. But sis came with the walk up. I was like, oh, she bad. She feeling it. She feeling it. Oh, she feeling it. That's a throwback. She feeling it.
Please, not the references. Okay, real one.
Ooh, she feeling it. Oh, that was a great time. That was a great time in the WNBA. Ooh, she feeling it. But the tape is one thing, but the abs. I was like, yo, Plum out here. She trying to hurt everybody.
Hey, look, this is her revenge tour, and you know what I'm saying? It's her revenge tour. So I'm gonna need her to be out here.
She out here. She let folks know with that outfit. She like, yeah, I'm outside. I'm outside.
Outside.
Ooh, she outside.
Not even mad at it.
Ooh, I ain't mad. I was like, do you, girl? Do you, baby girl? She all the way out. I was like,
it was the walk-in interview. She leaned forward at one point. I was like, girl, you are pushing it. You are pushing it. But like, she let her do her thing. Let her rock.
Listen. She bad. All she needed to do was light a cigarette and the whole internet would have exploded.
Yeah. You saw her cigars, that's called maximizing your brand. That's called knowing your audience.
Listen, she that's not my type, not my flavor, none of that. But I'd be like, damn. Damn. Like she was bad. That was bad. I was like, okay, Kate Plum bringing the heat. That was wild. But it actually, Mish, you and I actually engaged in conversation on social media for the first time, talking about a conversation that the Skims commercial actually resurfaced for some people. And that is regarding, feminine presenting versus masculine presenting in the WNBA. And it's interesting because a lot of people, so Tosh Cloud, Leja, of course, they chimed in, he chimed in. But it was interesting because they felt it was very much femme presenting and more feminine women that were in those commercials, even though Skims is also a partner with NBA. So there could have been opportunity for them to use different looks and they opted not to. So I don't know. I know we don't have a rundown. We just talking, but I wanted to offer up since we were talking about the baddie, Kelsey Plum, but it just brings up another part of the conversation. And I know that's something that you have expressed in the past. And it just seems like it was another missed opportunity for the league.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same issue all around, right? It's the WNBA from its inception insisted on catering to families and a straight white audience. A straight white audience who would want to see the WNBA women not behave too aggressively, not appear too masculine, not all that kind of stuff. And this is just another iteration of that issue. Like, yeah, okay, now we have stars like Stewie, like JJ, like, all these folks who present differently, but are they still being represented in the campaigns that we're running? Are they the ones who are put in the forefront when we're bringing in casual fans? No. And, it goes back to the point we talked about, I believe, last time we all got together, which is, who does the WNBA want to cater to? Are you trying to cater to all these new people, or are you trying to stay true to what you've got in the league, the players themselves, the fans who have been here? And to that end, if they would have got Tosh, if they would have got Brittany Sykes, if they would have got, Lay, and put them in the Skims that, would be more suited to them, whatever flavor they desire to wear, there are fans who are queer. There are fans who are hello, hi, my name is Misha. Like, come on.
Or just fans that would feel more comfortable in those Skims. Like, yeah, I ain't wearing nobody's tube top. My situation don't situate that way. I can't be wearing tube tops. I'd be looking crazy out in these streets. You
better tell it.
Come on, like I need more coverage than that, baby.
Come on. And it just doesn't feel like they considered that at all. And it's the same issue I have with the media coverage. It's the same issue I have across the board, man. Who are we putting at the forefront? Are we really showing people that everybody is welcome in this league? Because again, I think the WNBA showed back in 2020 it can and will handle that mantle of being the change maker league. You know what I mean? Of being the league that every other league copycats because they want to look good too. They want to look progressive too. Well, the WNBA can't just be talk, man. You have to constantly be having these conversations, especially when you're talking about a national, campaign. That because I looked on my Instagram the day that thing really, I was like, why is everybody in their underwear and what is going on? Like, it was back to back. It was Dejanay, it was Cam, it was Kelsey. I was like, where are the games? And Candace was in it, right? Candace Parker was in it, but
and then they showed her in her Chicago. I was like, okay, when did y'all put this campaign together? Y'all at least seasons late.
It was wild.
It was very interesting. I was like, Also, I was like, I hope those things fit because the way them things is cut, I'd be digging them out all day.
Yes, Steph. The safe choice. That's a great word for it. They make the safe choices. They don't make the choices that are authentic to the league and to the people who
authentic. I love it. I love it.
Damian said Indiana finna finish last.
Woo! Not two games.
2 back-to-back number 1 picks. Who that sound like?
Calling it. Well, okay. So just to be that person, I want to offer up that Indiana, if they don't finish top 8, likely does have a pretty good shot at number 1 because it goes by, or at least a better shot than some other teams, depending on who's, bottom 4. It goes by your 2-year record.
Yeah.
So now Indiana did improve last year. But if Washington's down there, I mean, they're not going to have a better or a worse, I guess, 2-year record than Indiana. As an example. I think, and the way I see the standings going, Indiana, if they are a lottery team, will still have the worse, aka better, worse 2-year record, better lottery chances. Because Washington, if Washington's there, no.
They won 18 or 19 last year, so yeah, it'll be
it's gonna be
tough. Guys, I had a question. I wonder what you guys think of this.
What up?
Do you think for the Fever, success would be sort of similar to how would it be the equivalent to Ryan's first year in Atlanta when Atlanta had the number 1 pick and then they were like right knocking on the door of the playoffs, even though they didn't make it? Would that be a successful year? Like, what do you think would be a success?
That's their goal. That's their goal. And they made it very clear on their media day, Indiana. So they said, listen, we have to temper expectations. Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
You saw the last possession, right? You saw all this?
Okay.
You saw all that?
They got her frustrated.
They got in her head.
Do y'all know what I'm about to say? I feel like y'all probably know where I'm going with this. Is she DT light? Is she DT light?
There's a 3-pointer. Now
Is she DT light? Is she DT light?
DT light is insane.
Is she DT light?
I don't think she's DT light. I think she's CC. I think she's on her own wave. I don't think we see the audacity that we see from Diana Taurasi because Diana Taurasi
she be bold with it. She be like,
she a little different.
Chainsaw, because you finna lose all them limbs.
Yeah, she got that. You know what I'm saying? But however, I did see Caitlin did an interview where she said she doesn't listen to music before games, and that had me kind of like, You might have a little bit. You might have a little bit, So, but it's gotta evolve first.
Is she DT light? Is she DT light?
Oh man,
wait, what was that? What was that? Oh man. Yeah.
Good.
So they were saying, just to go back to Brian's question, they were saying that the goal isn't championship, at least not in this first season. The goal is to make the playoffs. Like that's their goal, to compete and to make the playoffs. And they talked a lot about how last season, and I actually did the math on this. I'm not going to remember off the top of my head right now, but I talked on CBS Sports HQ about how among their losses there was double digit numbers of single digit losses. So games where they were competitive enough that they were losing by fewer than 10 points. And that's a place where they want to start now. They start out the gate this season. But if they could get back. But in all fairness, it took Indy a minute with Boston to get to a point where they were competitive. And then Aaliyah Boston wanted to take the New York Liberty into overtime. Nice look with her 3-point shot. That was a nice look. Also, that pass, that no-look pass by Sab to Stewie. I mean, we were having a very important conversation, so I didn't want to interrupt, but I was like, damn!
Oh, look at I also feel like Kathy didn't do them any favors. Kathy and the schedule makers. Oh, I want to showcase Caitlin. Who would I do it against? The second and third best teams in basketball. What? Like, you're supposed to build it up. You start small, and then it's like you don't start the game on the hardest difficulty. Like you gotta start on easy mode, build to medium, and then go to hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
mean, how to play DC first.
I'm
not even kidding. I think that would have been a better litmus test. But I also understand from New York's perspective. I mean, the popularity of the New York Liberty is through the roof, in my opinion, too. So I understand why they want them early on in the schedule. But man,
girl,
set baby girl and team up for.
Yeah.
Your first two games in the league. Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Stewart.
Welcome to the W. Welcome to the W. I mean, people want to talk all this smack about the New York Liberty. This is an uninspired Indiana team right now.
Yes. Uninspired is a great word. Because that energy went from whenever I mentioned it before, it just kept on. Yeah.
Yeah. I also wonder for the Fever I always feel like extra attention sort of hits pressure points for teams, and everybody's watching you. So you can't have the those moments where you sort of sulk your shoulder to not get back because there are way more eyes on you now. So it's you always have to be on in a way that you may not have been last year. So I wonder for them what it's gonna be like as they try to sort of adjust to this new paradigm they're living in now.
Yeah. And this is a complete non sequitur, but watching Alyssa Smith from that high angle at the free throw line just now, maybe that's just where she likes to be at, but I'm always very, intrigued by people who are off center on the free throw line. She was very much off center. I understand being crooked and having your feet crooked, but also being to the side is interesting.
She might have a drag with her hand. That's how I am in bowling. I'm off center. Well, I feel like a lot of people are, but in bowling I have to overcorrect because I know that when I throw the ball it's gonna spin out a certain way. It's just like the release point. But anyway,
very interesting. At first I was like, do they not have a nail? But then I was like, she knows what she's doing. She's a professional. Then I was like, she's in the WNBA.
Okay, I want to come back to this. Give the bench player minutes now. I think we did see some of that. We're seeing Burke in a few more minutes. Now, someone we haven't seen, right, is their Not getting close to the.
Why is Marquisha not in the game?
I'm telling you right now, I'm freeze framing that to use in the future for social.
Why is she not in the game? Put her in the game.
Did not play
like
coach's
right now.
decisions for what? For why?
You heard me. I said I feel like an AAU parent right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
But
so much happens. So much happens in practice and behind the scenes. Like it's I don't know why she's not in the game, but
like we're at 4:22 in the fourth. Like, come on.
Yeah, this I would say 20 seconds, like 30 seconds maximum before she just empties the bench.
Yeah. Like if she's a do not play again, I'm like, all right, Sandy, what's happening? What's happening? Or wait, she's I don't know. She was facing the bench for a minute. I thought maybe.
Yeah. But 24 points, they're good.
Y'all go look at those threes. Look at that.
Okay, Kennedy. That's the wrong person, Sandy.
Yara's coming back.
Let her get some rest too. Matter of fact.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, good. They're still working hard on D. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Ooh.
That's a lot of tall people chasing Aaliyah and having her stuck in that spot, man. Just like
and but like why did everyone like her teammates went oppo? Like I'm like, that's when you go get the ball. Like that's what they teach you. Like I only played high school basketball, but I would have gotten just destroyed by my coach for not going to get that ball.
That's what you do when your energy is low and you feel lazy. You don't want to help your teammate, and all that kind of stuff trickles down. Like that's
gotta go get that ball. They were like, no, she good. Got 2 defenders on her. She be all right. Oh man. Wait. Show the score table. Wait. Unless she went to the back to get some popcorn. I don't know.
Stop. Good to get her a Slurpee.
Yo, Caitlin is fuming.
Yeah, she's sick.
She got that fever for real.
Marquisha!
Yes!
look at Kate. Look at boy.
That one!
Like
that
right there is the difference.
I noticed. That was another thing I noticed looking at the box score. I was like, yo, how did Thornton not hit at least 10 minutes?
That face is tight. CC, man.
She got that Indiana fever for real.
She said,
ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This can't be fun, This can't be fun. But yay, Marquisha minutes.
Yeah. I was about to say, Sandy. Now we done talked about this in the exit interviews. I'm gonna need you to do what you said you was gonna do.
Yeah. And but all in all, though, I mean, minutes have been had. Minutes have been had.
All right. Let's check the totals. See.
Yeah. Take a look. It's in a reading rainbow. I don't know why I'm like this.
Just
can't do anything. Who sings that? I'm gonna need to know. I need to.
Was that Zahar who sang that song?
I honestly have no idea. Butterfly in the sky. You go twice as high.
All right, Erica, you ready?
Album drops tomorrow. All right, Brian.
All right, minute total B 29:42. Stewie 29:20.
Okay.
28:43.
Okay.
Sabrina 29:47.
He said, "Wait, run that back."
Who's number 3?
JJ.
Yeah.
28:43. Sabrina, 29-47. And Sloot, 27-22.
Look, they're showing the commercial for the movie that Brian and I watched. That was hilarious when she saw the beach video or the beach photos. I was like, that's so real. And that would have been my reaction to it. Like, oh, hell no.
I got a commercial for the holdovers. Maybe we got different commercials.
Woo! You might have missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
Darn it.
Gosh darn it. Oh man. I was looking at a Slack channel that I have, and I almost lost it when someone said those were nifty passes. I was like, nifty? Sir. Super nifty.
That's my wheelhouse. That's where I live. So I love nifty. Super nifty.
Nifty is so, oh my gosh. That is not a word I use in any seriousness. Super nifty, Batman.
I'm about to put it back in my vocabulary just for that.
Make it so fetch. Super nifty. Willikers. It's like 1950s corny to me. So nifty. I just hear like, a prepubescent white boy. Super nifty. Thanks, Santa.
What?
Super nifty.
That's how you know we're in garbage time. That's how you know this is a 30-point game.
Thanks, Dad. Like that Midwest accent.
Misha, I want to ask you a question.
What's up, Brian?
Do you want to guess how many points Indiana has scored this quarter?
2.
Barely over.
5.
Correct.
Ha! I win.
That's bad. That's no blames.
Like, what do you like? What do you say when it's like, damn, we was like right there, and then it just keeps snowballing.
I mean, okay, let's talk about this though, because is it a fatigue thing? Like, is this I'm trying to understand how this Indiana team right now and in. Okay, thank you. See, this is what we need to. Whoa! I didn't know that. I didn't know. Wait a minute. I need to on the immediate listen to the Shaka Khan version. What?
I feel like that's the one I have in my head because it's definitely.
I can go twice as high. Oh my gosh, that's like perfect for Shaka. I hear it in my head, even though I never heard it.
They need to get this camera off, Caitlin.
They won't. And they won't. And they won't. And they won't.
Kathy got a big boss call.
Shorty put her head in her hands.
Every reaction.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the Aaliyah Boston crying.
Oh yeah. But Brian, like, to your point, this whole quarter and the third quarter, frankly, since halftime, ended, I thought the defense for Indiana was horrible.
Katie's so good. I appreciate someone who's still going 100 miles an hour.
What are we saying? She's going to be the general of the second unit, and I'm just trying to understand why it took a little bit for that to happen. But anyway, yeah, but I feel you on the defense, but I wonder if it's a fatigue thing. I'm just trying to understand what we saw. They played Dallas, right, in their preseason game. Yeah. What was different? Because that was an exciting preseason game to watch.
It was.
I thought that was a fantastic preseason game to watch, and I ain't seen not her pushing her own team.
Wait, no spoilers. I'm behind again. KT just hit the 3.
She's like, I'm gonna need you to get up there.
How much time left for y'all?
I'm at 125.
Me too.
Wait, then how did I just see the kid? Okay. Yeah. It's looking rough for Indiana. I thought Temmie had a good game.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, Grace came in with some energy. Erica has some uncharacteristic turnovers.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark will figure it out. I'm just trying to understand how they flew charter and can't get their life together.
Also, about that, right? So we found I think I kind of sensed that things were funny when the vice president of the union had to be told by our friend Jackie that this whole league shifting policy happened. She was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yep." Like, I feel like, yeah, I feel like you gotta everyone hop on Zoom. I have a mandatory meeting at 12 p.m. and no Zoom link sent. Like,
yeah,
something.
It was trash. I'm working on a story because I got to hear from the PA. I've reached out to the league. They have not responded. They have not said when Kathy will be made available to talk about it. But I also had some reporting, and then it was confirmed by the WNBPA on May 7th. That was the day. That was still preseason. That was that last week of preseason. The teams were contacted. And one team, and also actually Christy Sides, confirmed that they submitted all of their road travel altogether. And some teams, and then by the weekend, because I know the 7th is a Tuesday because the 8th was a Wednesday. Anyway, by that weekend, they were told whether they would be flying charter for their first road game or not. Obviously those who opened on the road. And when we were in Connecticut, so Tuesday, Christy Sides said that although they submitted all of their travel requests, they have not gotten word on a few of the games. And they're still waiting. So it's very much piecemeal. Some teams started out the gate, other teams did not. I talked to Dejanay Carrington, and she is the team rep for the Connecticut Sun, and she talked about the town hall and was like, honestly, I still don't know what's going on. Like
100.
That's not good. Yo,
it was a slow call to 100, but we got there.
Why did I just happen to open the Twitter application and Pat McAfee tweeted, "Has this Liberty team ever lost? This might be the greatest team assembled of all time."
Pat wants to light it up, is what he wants to do.
Ryan, he just sounds misinformed.
I know.
He just sounds bad. And I hate that he brought y'all into it, because don't do that.
Yeah.
You already know. There's a bunch of people on the social meets that are going to have a lot to say. And I can't. I'm mad.
It's gonna be messy.
Never watched what was it? Two Dope Queens. That's what they used to say. They used to say social media. The social meets.
Wow.
Throwback. Yeah, Pat, go away.
Like, can we hire some people who know what they're talking about to talk about the WNBA and come on? Yes, instead of expecting these people who clearly don't want to take the time and do the research and get into it, keep letting them, know.
Sponsor got to get up. Sponsor got to get up, because I guarantee we're a lot cheaper and more knowledgeable.
Hey,
listen, they could still lowball us, and I'll take all that money.
Our salary cap is going up this year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah. I seen a picture of Pat at the game too. Dude, right in the face. I know he blasted. I know he just sitting there having a good time.
Yeah. Just like coming out his mouth saying all kinds of foolishness. Okay. Question. Tell me okay. Anyway, what do we think is going to happen with the Around the Rim podcast now that Tariqa Foster Brasby is not with ESPN anymore?
I do not know.
I'm mad I didn't ask Tariqa when I literally saw her on Tuesday, but I just thought about it when I saw the China.
I do not know.
I do not know. Speaking of British accents, I gotta watch Bridgerton tonight.
Yo, I'm already halfway through the first episode. So I rewatched
Really?
the last couple of days. I rewatched season 2 just so I could, get back into that anticipation mode. And
Yeah.
This season
okay.
Penelope, right?
So, say again?
Is this season Penelope? Like, who's the focus?
Yes, it's
Yep.
Penelope and Colin. They are not going in order of the books because Benedict still doesn't have his love match. And honestly, because I listened to the audiobooks of the originals, and Benedict's story is I'm not giving any spoilers. Relax. Calmate. I don't know who you are. Who is this man? Sorry to this man. Anyway. No, but for real, who is that? I don't know.
I have no clue.
He seems to feel he's important. I don't know.
I saw our pal Brian with a great blazer. I was like, ooh, nice color. Seafoam blazer? I could work with it.
Listen, I remember when Brian was, like second or third rung, but he be coming with these outfits. I'm like, all right, let's go tunnel fit.
Sure. I was telling the Liberty last year that the whole rose gold color they had in playoffs, I was like, fantastic. Rose gold never goes wrong.
It never goes wrong. Never, ever.
Okay, we're gonna start wrapping up. So have the Liberty lived up to expectations in this game? I would say yes. I need to look at the final tallies. Did they have less turnovers? I honestly don't know. It felt like they did. Sure. Yep. They cleaned up things that didn't work in the first quarter in particular. Obviously, they won the game and they were able to run up the score. We talked also, Brian walked us through the minutes, and that's good. That being said, it wasn't an improvement. I think on the surface, for sure, we'll go with that. And there's still some work that needs to be done. Said the second unit looks a little clunky. I think the rotations are still being figured out. I can't imagine the rotations are going to be this way, 20 games into the season as they are right now, 2 games into the season. So that's something that has to be figured out. And I look forward to what that's going to look like. But overall, yeah, I think this was a better game for New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be ham. But Nigel Lady Hamilton, I'm sitting here looking at the plus minus. Be ham. She finished plus 43.
What?
That
plus 43.
Really possible.
I was like, it was like a slow reaction. I was like, no, I didn't just hear what I just heard.
You heard what you just heard.
43
plus 43.
Wow.
Nuts.
Wow.
And Kennedy Burke, we were excited about her. She finished plus 10. So she did the best of all the folks on the bench. And yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about the Fevers plus minuses.
No, do it. Okay. I mean, should we just get the elephant out the way? What were Clark's numbers?
Wait, before that, who do you think had the worst plus minus?
I think it's between Clark, Wheeler, and I'm just gonna say Clark and Wheeler.
Aaliyah
No.
Boss. Excuse me. I knew you wanted to, and I wanted to tell you go for it, but then I
was like, oh, I don't know. Okay, dang it. Go with your gut. Always go with your gut, people. That's the lesson that we learned.
But she was minus 33. Caitlin was minus 24.
Ooh.
Erica Wheeler had the second best plus minus out of all the starters. Katie Lou actually was the worst, or second worst. She had minus 28. So it was a rough night. It was a rough night for sure. That joint cleared out quick. You see?
Yeah.
As hell, boy.
I've been at that arena. It takes me a while to get out.
What?
God dang.
Dang. They were like, see ya.
Wow.
If anything, it looked like the Liberty fans were signing autographs.
Also, speaking of Liberty fans, Misha.
Or Liberty players, excuse me. But anyway, go ahead.
On Tuesday, nice size Liberty contingent in DC. Like,
Amtrak series.
Like as like towards like once the game ended and I was running to the media area, there was this one Liberty fan. She's like, "Oh, put your L's up in the air for the Liberty," and then I made eye contact with her. I was like, "I'm with you, sis.
You better put your L right here. Don't put that thing too far up. You still in Southeast.
I put it too high because I'm a visitor. I didn't want to get myself jammed up. I was like, no.
You still in Southeast, baby. Wait till you get.
Oh dang! Oh my gosh, y'all are hilarious.
Yeah. I really wish I could have made it. I'm sick, but I'm glad you had a good time, Brian.
Also, speaking of DC. Apparently, like one of the security guys told me that I guess Tuesday is the worst for DC traffic. I was like, because it took me like my car was supposed to only be like 25 minutes. It took 45 in the rain. I was like,
that's light work. That's light work.
Light work.
I've been going to work. I just quit this job, thank God. But I have gone to work and been 5 or so miles from my destination and still been an hour away. So like don't because people don't know how to drive. People don't know how to drive nowhere. But in DC, it's different. Jams happen. It's a lot. So but I'm glad you made it there safely. It was raining that day, so that always compounds the issues.
One thing I love about being in like various places is like just going to restaurants and being like a foodie poster on Instagram. Like I went to Ted's Bulletin yesterday. I was like, great. There was some other places. I was like, yo, this is good as hell.
Send you a list. Next time you come, Brian, I'm gonna send you a list of places to go because it's a place called Kane on 8th Street that makes Caribbean food that has the best oxtail I've ever had in my life. They had,
New Yorkers get down with that.
They had Trini Chinese chicken. I don't know if y'all ever had that, but it's like this sweet and like savory. It's man, there's so many places. Erica, you gotta come to DC.
I know. I've got one of my homegirls is down there. So I gotta check it out. But all right, final thoughts on this game, specifically what the New York Liberty did. Let's go with Brian first.
One thing I liked was that once Indiana went on their run and had the crowd back in it, they shut that down immediately. Like they made sure that like that crowd's not going to get back in it. Those players aren't going to get confident. We're experienced. We're going to really drive this and finish it out. So that was great on that part.
Ooh.
Also,
I just saw the lead track. The lead tracker. I'm gonna show it in a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. Also, one thing I liked, a lot of touches in the paint. Like after they had their bout of jump shooting unseriousness, they got it together, got back inside, and did their basketball, which is excellent. Like that's something to really keep an eye on. And they kept the minutes low for everybody, so everyone's refreshed. They fly home tonight, rest up tomorrow for Saturday. It's going to be a fun atmosphere, sold out building, gonna be good.
Yeah.
Oof.
You see what I'm doing?
It just kept going.
No, as Brian was talking, I was like, let me get this ready. And I was like, I couldn't even hold it. I was like, dang. Blue. I can't find it. Bruh.
Yeah.
All right. What you got?
I mean, Brian pretty much covered what I wanted to cover because it felt like they put the hammer down immediately. I'll say, I think Kennedy, like I said, we looked at the box score a second ago. We looked at her plus minus. I thought she had a really solid game. I think, her coming in and being a piece. You love to see it. I also love Niara putting her body out there because the first quarter when we talked about her putting her not feeling hesitant or looking hesitant, I was like, okay, that's cute. But she continued to battle. I saw her on the floor quite a few times after that, even in that fourth quarter in garbage time. And that's, when we talked about the Liberty in the offseason, the whole thing was the bench. The whole thing was, who's going to come in. We already know KT is going to be the general of that second unit. Who else is going to come in and really produce and really be in that moment for New York? And I think we saw some some bright spots, but man, this was just utter domination.
Yeah, but
Utter
I
domination.
mean, if we look at the bench points, Indiana actually led bench points 26-22. So that's interesting. Again, but I feel like I kind of said it earlier. I feel like the rotations are still being figured out. I can't imagine that's how it's gonna. It was a little clunky for my liking. What else? Times tied once at 2-2. Bruh.
Oof.
Ooh, oh man, I don't know. Maybe the Caitlin Clark stands had a crystal ball on Christy's side. No, I'm not going that far. But
See,
this is
you adding fuel to the fire. See,
there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I think that goes for the Liberty as well. 17,000. Nice. Okay, stop texting me. I'm on live. Thank you. Fast break points. I like child. Please stop. Hold on. Hold on. Let me turn that down. Second chance points 29-5. Oof. Dang. That's tough. Okay. Yeah, these are a little tough. These are a little tough. But this is a podcast for New York Liberty fans. So we're gonna take this win and we're gonna see this team again. So I think what you want to see, we kind of talked about Chicago. Am I expecting a Chicago from last year with Indiana? No. A night and day game where the home and home is split. I'm not expecting that. Not at all. Because this Indiana team has a lot to do before they can get to a point where they can beat this New York Liberty squad, especially the starting unit. That being said, and to Damien's points in the comments, for me, another metric on how successful this Liberty team is how they're able to play teams that they've already played. You want to be able to secure the wins on paper and even through, past games that you've been able to get. And there's a little bit of a catch-22 in hockey. Sometimes we call these trap games because on paper or even from the last time you played the team, you think and you feel almost overconfident that you can grab it. And so then you fumble the bag. I'm not expecting that to happen with Indiana, but this is still the WNBA. This is the big leagues. Anything can happen. I think it's a little too early, and there's a lot more work that Indiana has to do before they can be in danger of being a quote-unquote trap team. But I think it's something to keep in mind with the Liberty moving forward, because I think that was a little bit of a challenge with them. They would play a team really well or they'd play them really bad, and then they would inverse it. We saw that with the Aces. We saw that with Atlanta. We've already talked about Chicago. So that's another thing for this New York Liberty squad that I'm looking at. I still am not in love with the bench for the New York Liberty. I've been on the record saying I would have liked Sherrod to make this team because she's a spark plug. There's like a monotonous, or not monotonous, but like if monotone had a basketball style, it would be the New York Liberty.
But to that point, who you dropped to get Sherrod?
And that's the question. Listen, I'm not a GM for a reason. I just know I want Sherrod on the dang team.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. And
you need more roster spots. That's the real issue.
That part. More roster spot, more salary cap, because you need her on the squad. Like, I haven't seen enough of some of the players that came late to camp to make a definitive decision on who I don't like. And even if that's the case, but I just know I like Sherrod. And I'm a eye test vibes person. The vibes were good. The vibes were exactly what the New York Liberty need. And that the vibes were that she could give them an edge. And again, they're like, so we went from easy bake, microwave sponge cake to you ain't even put no frosting and sprinkles on that thing. You just served it up in the ramekin. Like they a pound cake, nothing, no frills, nothing extra, nothing more, nothing less. We not adding no extra nothing. And you gonna eat that. You're gonna be satisfied. Like, is there a chance they pick up Sherrod in a few weeks? this is, and that's another thing that could be possible. Are they where? I guess I could count on here, but where are they at? They said they were going to carry 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they said by like July, but towards the trade deadline, they might have a little bit more cap room, and then that might sort of dictate what they may need to do. So who knows? And also depending on whatever happens with France, if Marine is able to swing back to the US in time, but who knows? Who knows about that situation too?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a problem for next year though, because we know she's, it's a problem for next year. But again, it just speaks to needing more roster spots. Well, all right, folks. I don't know what's happening on this screen no more. Who are these people? I don't know. Sorry to these people. I still have Prime on. It's some music show or something. But anyway, I'm gonna go watch Bridgerton.
Hey, I just changed it to Bridgerton immediately.
Dear gentle reader. We about to watch Bridgerton up in here. So stay tuned. The Gotta Get Up crew, we're gonna bounce around schedules, because next week is my sister's wedding. So, that's going to be something important. I'll be in New York, but occupied. So we'll have to work out the schedule. But once we know when we're going to do the next show, we will let y'all know. But as always, thanks for rocking with us. New York Liberty get the win, so we'll take it. Still more work to do, but that's all right. It's still early in the season. So, that nearly 50-point loss, that's the past. In the preseason, we're going to let that one go. And move forward. Still got a lot of work to do, but I like it. Game over game, they made the improvements they needed to make. And so it's all good. Now, Indy, y'all got some things to do. But I'm excited. This is going to be a good season for the W. It's going to be a lightning pace, lightning speed. And then we get to All-Star break and get ready for the Olympics. So that's going to be exciting too. Thank y'all for your comments, for your questions. And please, whether it's you want to know about basketball, you want to know about the New York Liberty, that's why we come on here. So we love interacting with y'all. So we appreciate the comments. For Brian Florentin and Misha Jones, my name is Erica L. Ayala. We are your Gotta Get Up crew. This is a podcast for New York Liberty fans brought to you by Black Rosie Media. And now is the time that we all know and love, where we awkwardly wave goodbye and hope that StreamYard ends the stream soon. See ya!
Bye-bye.